Good evening, racers and race fans, and welcome to the Wednesday night special mid-season money race here at Thunder Hill Speedway in Menomonie, Wisconsin. As has been the trend this year so far, unfortunately, we did lose out to Mother Nature last week for our regularly scheduled races. However, we are back and ready to go for tonight's mid-season money race here at Thunder Hill Speedway in Menomonie, Wisconsin. We've got a lot of great racing action coming at you folks tonight. We have a couple heats of Arbox racers, three heats of our junior wing class. We have a couple rookie cage competitors out there, one heat of our Legends Direct Legends cars, a heat of intermediate wings, a heat of Sportsman, a heat of 125 250 wings, and then we have a solid 3 heat races for our K&K Racing Micro Sprints class here, for a total of 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 races here for the mid-season money races class at Thunder Hill Speedway in Menomonie, Wisconsin. As a reminder, no points will be awarded during tonight's racing for the season-ending awards. However, in all classes except the rookie cage class, we will be racing for some cold, hard cash. We've got $150 to win in the Arbox class, $150 to win in the junior wing class, $150 to win in intermediate wing, 125 250 wing, and the Sportsman class. Then we have $400 to win in the non-wing A-class K&K Racing Micro Sprints class tonight, along with $400 to win in the Legends Direct Legends Cars class. My name is Zach Bailey. I'll be one of your announcers tonight. I'm joined up here in the booth with Colin Lloyd. Colin, give everyone a quick shout out there. We'll give Colin a chance to get all situated over here. But as a quick reminder, we are announcing tonight not only at the track, however, we are announcing and broadcasting tonight's races for free on MBTVsports.com and its affiliated social media channels. We've been doing so all season so long to be able to bring you guys some great racing action for anyone who may not have been able to make it out to the races so far, and we will be doing so the rest of the season as well. But as you can see, we officially have our first class of the night hitting the track, getting ready for heat race number 1 of the mid-season money Wednesday night special races. So we will start things off with your first starting lineup of the evening. Arbox heat race number 1. Inside of row number 1 is going to be the 10 of Marshfield, Wisconsin's Benjamin Bargender, side by side with Harper Halopka racing the 23 out of Wheeler, Wisconsin. Inside row number 2, we have the 21 of Thorpe, Wisconsin's Palmer Haas, alongside the 34 of Brantley Langer racing out of Menomonie, Wisconsin. Inside row number 3, it's Winona, Minnesota's Luke Pettit racing the 4 machine, alongside the 17 of Josiah Hoffbeck out of Randolph, Minnesota. And inside that 4th and final row, we have Des Moines, Iowa's Kaylee Mathney racing the 3K, and the 88E of Barrett Evans racing out of Menomonie, Wisconsin. 8 racers for heat race number 1 of your Arbox class, already bumping and banging through 3 and 4. Looks like we're going to get a green light, but we're going to see how this goes. All good to go there, and it is the 10 of Bargender setting the pace, leading the charge. We have a nice 4-cart battle for 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th in the midfield. Out front, though, it's still the 10 and the 23, Bargender and Halopka setting the pace. We've now got a 4-racer battle for the lead, 3 wide through 3 and 4 for second on back, and it's Pettit up to that second place spot now, setting his sights on the 10 of Bargender. Pettit goes down low, new race leader, ladies and gentlemen. Pettit pulling away from the rest of the field, setting the pace. And it's going to be Pettit out front and alone. Now we have that 3-cart battle for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th. Bargender's leading it. Langer's looking down to the inside, bumping through 3 and 4. Langer now up to 2nd. Side by side with Holopka. Holopka now able to make the move down low. Holopka now up second place spot. All alone out front, though. It's going to be the 4 of Pettit pulling away from that 3-racer battle for position behind him, as we do have our first caution of the evening. Wow, what a way to start out tonight's racing. We see one kart losing a wheel in the mix there, and it looks like it is the 17 machine of Josiah Hoffbeck. Gonna have to get the rough push off of the track, losing his left rear wheel in the process, rim and all. Not quite sure what happened with Hoffbeck there. I believe he was battling near the rear of the field. Up front, though, man, we had a lot of wild racing action to start off this Wednesday night special mid-season money race. As you've got to remember, these kiddos out here are racing for $150 to win once we hit our main event later on tonight. And now, with these youngsters out here, as young as they are, $150, that could last them quite some time. That's a pretty big paycheck for these youngsters. So they are definitely going to be fighting back and forth, giving it their all to make sure that they are in the competition for that 150 to win later on this evening. We're going to get our carts re-lined up and ready to go, making sure that they are in their correct restart order before we get back to some green flag action. I'm going to give them the go through 1 and 2, and it's going to be the 4 of Winona, Minnesota's Luke Pettit leading the charge onto the back straightaway. Holopka, Langer, Bargender, Haas going to be following behind to fill out that top 5. Coming out of 4, green flag is out. Pettit going to pull away with the nice jump. Already got a side-by-side battle for position, though. And it's the 34 of Langer ducking down to the inside, able to get past the 23 of Holopka, with now coming 2 laps left to go. Coming up to the white flag, I believe. Pettit pulling away from the rest of the field. And it looks like we got the 10 of Bargender going around there. Entering into turn number 3. Bargender's going to loop it, so we will get him refired, re-rack him, restack him, and get back to some green flag action here. As we get everyone back in their correct restarting order, we'll hear a couple quick words from Colin up here in the booth as well. Colin, how you doing tonight? Seem to be having some slight technical difficulties there. So Colin will be back on to start announcing here relatively soon. But in the meantime, we do have our Arbox Heat 1 all relined up and ready to go. So it'll be Pettit, Langer, Holopka, Matheny, and then the 21 machine of Haas rounding out your top 5. Green flag is out. Pettit still with a good hop right there. Going to pull away from the rest of the field. Langer right there in tow as well. Our top 3 starting to space out slightly. The 23 of Holopka about half a second back. As we've got 2 bumping and banging. Looks like that was Matheny and Haas getting side by side. Matheny going to stroll around there, able to get back at it before we go under caution again. But that is going to lose Matheny a few spots there. Back onto the front straightaway. White flag is out. 1 more lap to go for our racers. And it is all Pettit's race. Coming through 3 and 4 one final time up to our first checkered flag of the night. The 4 of Luke Pettit's going to be your heat race winner tonight. 34 of Brantley Langer going to finish second. And it'll end up being the 23 of Harper Holopka Rounding out your top 3 podium for your first heat race of the night in our Arbox class. We'll let them make their way off the track, and as we bring on heat race number 2, your starting lineup is going to look like this. Inside of row number 1, we see the 32 of Otto Eriksson racing out of Colfax, alongside another Colfax native, the 16 of Oakley Booth. Inside row number 2, it's the 36 of Henry Junker from Stanley, alongside Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin's Kate Knops racing the 93. Inside row number 3, the 22 machine out of Downsville, Wisconsin, that is Dirks LeBlond, racing side by side with Axel Fahrenholtz inside the 20X machine out of Minnesota City, Minnesota. And in that final row, all alone on the inside, it's going to be the number 1 of Bentley Larson racing out of Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. 7 racers, 8 laps for our second heat of 2 in the Arbox class. We'll give them a moment to get all lined up in their correct starting order in turns 3 and 4. Now, one thing we have to remember with this class, so these racers out there are between the ages of 5 and 8 years old. So, though it may not be the rookie cage class that we'll see a little bit later on, brand new racers, these are still youngsters. We got to keep them in mind. So one thing we are going to be doing throughout the evening is when it comes to restarts or even just, the initial start of the race, we usually will bring them to a stop. Just make sure everyone is set and ready to go instead of cycling around the track like most classes. Coming out of 3 and 4, bumping and banging. Green flag is going to fly, and Junker's going to muscle his way up to the inside. Not if Booth has anything to say about it, though. Oakley Booth looks to the outside, trying to make a move there, not able to do it through 1 and 2. We've got a pack of 5, all battling for position just outside the top 2. As Booth and Junker pull away from the rest of the field, a little bit of space before we get back to the 22 of LeBlanc and the 20X of Fahrenholtz, battling side by side for that final podium position. A little bit of space before we get back to the 93 of Knops. Out front, all alone though, it is still that battle for the lead, Junker and Booth. Booth looking to the outside there, trying to make a pass high. Nothing quite going, but he is gaining speed. He was about 0.35 seconds behind last lap. This time he was 0.23 seconds behind at the flag this time around. It's back to a 0.34 second gap, so Junker is able to keep him in about that same distance. Booth looks to the outside, nothing going, ducks down low, side by side onto the front straightaway. Slight advantage to Junker still. Booth giving it all he has, though, with 3 laps left to go. Just 0.08 seconds in between our 2 racers that time by. Booth with a nice hard charge on the straightaway, trying to gain some ground. Not quite going through 3 and 4, coming up to the white flag. 1 more lap to go for Henry Junker. One final time through 3 and 4. Booth's got 2 turns to make it happen. Ducks down low. Drag race to the line. Who's it gonna be? Unofficially at the checkered flag, it looks like it may have been the 36 of Henry Junker with a 0.04 gap over the 16 of Booth. And wow, no matter where that finished, it was a close call between the two. The 22 of Dirks LeBlanc going to round out your podium for sure in that 3rd spot. And I believe it was Junker there taking the win unofficially. And that right there is going to bring a close to our Arbox class. Up next, we're going to bring out our junior wing competitors. We have 3 heat races tonight. We are going to have a B main in our junior wing class. So let's see our starting lineup here. For heat race number 1, 7 racers. Looks like 6 making the call. We have Easton Schultz racing the 7S on the inside of row 1, side by side with the 10 of Joseph Bargender. Inside row number 2, Tanner Johnson in the 1T and the 15 JR of Luke Patterson. Row 3 has Mason Lockburner in the 20, Ashton Fahrenholtz in the 21, Archer Hoffbeck rounding out the 4-row field. And out front, Bargender is going to set the pace for him as we're 3 wide through 1 and 2. Onto the back straightaway, that battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Raging hard, bumping and banging. Bargender out front all alone. Fahrenholtz looks to the outside, trying to make a move there. And we're going to get our first caution of the junior wing class. Wow, that was quite a start there. You know, even though it may have been the beginning of the race, I always get pretty excited when I see some 3 wide battling action there, especially in these youngster classes. Nice to see them having some fun racing. Now, this is going to be that step up from the junior wing class. Racers are going to be ages 8 to 12 years old. So we do still have some youngsters out there. It looks like now we do have all 7 of our racers lined up in their correct starting order. So we are going to be doing a full restart here, bumping slightly, heading into turn 3. Out of 4, green flag is going to fly. The 1T of Johnson ducks down to the inside. Nice shot off the line there for Johnson. He's already up to that 2nd place spot ahead of a 2-cart battle between the 15 JR of Patterson and the 21 of Fahrenholtz. Out front all alone though, the 10 of Joseph Bargender is setting the pace, leading the charge. Fahrenholtz able to get by that battle, move up to 2nd. Now it's a side-by-side battle for 3rd and 4th between Johnson and Patterson, as it looks like the 14 of Hoffbeck is now going around in turn number 2. We'll get him turned back around here, get everyone restarted before we get back to some more green flag action. Fahrenholtz looks, or Hoffbeck, apologies, Hoffbeck has rounded around. He is all good to go. So we are going to be doing a single file restart here for our junior wing class. As I was saying earlier, we have 3 heat races of junior wing competitors. To make sure everyone's in their correct starting lineup, we have 7 racers in this first heat, 6 in our second, and 6 in our third, for a total of 19 junior wing competitors. We will be doing a B main for this class, so not only are they fighting for a good starting order in the main, they're also fighting to get a direct transfer. And the 1T of Johnson muscling his way up to the lead there right off the bat. Johnson going to be your early race leader as it currently stands. Pulling away from the rest of the field, the 21 of Fahrenholtz sitting behind in 2nd alongside the 15 JR of Patterson in 3rd. Bargender with a rough start there, pushed all the way back to 4th after leading these first few laps here. And then it's Schultz in the 7S rounding out your top 5. Out front all alone though, it's going to be the 1T of Tanner Johnson with a 0.6 second lead over that slight battle for 2nd and 3rd between Fahrenholtz and Patterson. We're now halfway through this race. Johnson, Fahrenholtz, Patterson, Bargender, Schultz, your top 5 as it currently stands. The 1T of Johnson with a blistering pace every lap, putting an extra gap between him and Ashton Fahrenholtz. White flag is out. 1 more lap to go for our race leader. He was able to make his way up, had a great restart, and now he's a heat race winner. Give it up for the 1T of Tanner Johnson taking the win today. In heat number 1 of our junior wing class, the 21 of Fahrenholtz, from 2nd to last, going to finish 2nd in the heat, a pretty solid finish for him. And then it's the 15 JR of Luke Patterson, who's going to be rounding out our top 3 for heat race number 1. Heat race number 2 will get your starting lineup now. 6 racers for 8 laps inside row number 1. It's the 21M of Woodville, Wisconsin's Owen Malmgren. And to his right, Kinsley Schmutz racing the 7DJ-R out of Menomonie, the hometown hero here. Inside row number 2, the 1S of Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin's Dylan Subert, alongside the 19 of Jacob Demmel racing out of Owatonna, Minnesota. And inside that third and final row, it's Trip Swan racing the 18T out of Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin, along with Grant Keller racing the 31, also out of Menomonie, Wisconsin. Two hometown heroes, all set and ready to go, trying to bring some pride here to the 6th Mile Speedway here in Menomonie, Wisconsin. as we have our racers all lined up and ready to go. Quick shout out to one of our sponsors, QualityFreightRate.com, along with Auto Value Parts Store and Conrad's Auto Salvage, all along for the year here. Green flag is out, and it's going to be the 7DJR of Schmutz with a great jump off the line. An even solider jump, though. The 19 of Demel able to rocket past. The 21M of Malmgren trying to duck down low to the inside. He's going to go around. Not quite able to make that pass a go there. But wow, we've already had an exciting first lap of this race here. We'll give our racers a chance to re-rack and restack in their correct restarting order. And wow, 3 racers in the lead and just 3 corners there. A nice start to heat race number 2 for our junior wing class. Now these youngsters, again, they're just between the ages of 8 and 12, and they're racing for $150 to win later on this evening, which is still a pretty big chunk of change for some youngsters that age. So they're battling it out to get that money, that cold hard cash at the end of the night, but they're also battling for a direct transfer to the A main, as we are doing a B main in this class. Got everyone re-lined up in their correct restart order. Gonna send them out onto the back straightaway through turns 3 and 4. Green flag is gonna fly. 2 rows of 3 making it onto the front stretch. We're swip swapping all around, and it looks like it is the 1S of Subert with the early advantage. Subert's gonna be your new race leader here. For heat race number 2, Demel right behind him in second, makes the pass. Subert swaps back around, tries to repass him back, nothing going there. As the 31 machine of Keller from the very back, making that pass for position in second, bumping and banging through 3 and 4. Subert's not giving it up that easy. Keller now taking sole possession of second place. Subert going in hot into 1 and 2, trying to make a move there, not quite going. Keller now sole possession of second place. Out front all alone, though, it is Demel, as we've got the 21M of Malmgren going around once again. This time through 1 and 2. Wow. One thing's for sure, these junior wing racers are always going to give us a great show. Some nice bumping and banging for position. Colin, let's see if we got you on right now. Colin, what are your thoughts on the first few laps here of heat race number 2?
Great battling going on for that second position between Grant Keller and Dylan Subert. Usual 2 very good competitors here in the division. But right now, Jacob Demel in 19 will lead us down the back straightaway toward the green flag with 5 laps to go. Demel races into turn number 1 with the lead. Grant Keller gives chase in number 31. Subert continuing in the 3rd spot. And then it's Swan and Malmgren running, or excuse me, then it's Smoltz and then Malmgren. And the running order currently out front, Jacob Demel starting to stretch out that lead over Grant Keller in 31.
Almost a full second gap there in between our top 2 racers, with a little over half a race left, or a little under half a race left to go. Demel setting the charge, growing that to more than a second gap between him and the 31 of Keller. Keller, then it's Subert in 3rd, Swan in 4th, Schmutz in 5th. As the white flag flies, 1 more lap to go between Jacob Demel and Heat Race Glory. He's going to power through turns 3 and 4, and just like that, Jacob Demel from the 2nd row is going to take the Heat Race win tonight. The 31 of Keller from the very back of the field going to finish 2nd with a very impressive finish, and it's the 1S of Subert going to round out your top 3 in heat race number 2. Our 3rd of 3 heat races about to hit the track now. Colin, why don't you give us that starting lineup?
Inside of row number 1 from Wheeler, Wisconsin, that's the 99 of Bentley Halak. And to the outside, it's Ty Brecknow from River Falls, Wisconsin in the 85T. Alan Byrne from Trempealeau, Wisconsin, driving number 8, starts to the inside of row number 2, and that is Luck, Wisconsin's Archer Bachman in the 57. Kane Buss in 88 starts to the inside of row number 3, and then it's Jonathan Pettit the third, starting in the 6th and final starting position here for your 3rd and final heat race for the junior wing division. We'll go 8 laps around with Halapka and Prochnow. They'll
Coming out
go
of
to turn number 4.
Green flag's gonna fly. Looks like we've got some smoke coming out. I believe that was out of the 85T of Prochnow. We have Byrne ducking down to the inside there. Racing still going on strong as it's the 3J of Pettit the third from that final spot. Apologies, Pettit sitting in second. It's Halapka out front. The 99 of Bentley Halapka setting the pace, leading the charge. Bumping and banging in that 3-racer battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Bachman holding on to that final podium spot. Prochnow sitting in 4th as the 8 of Byrne ducks down to the infield now.
Good battling on the Speedway for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. It's Bachman, Prochnow, and Buss, but we will see the yellow flag as Alan Byrne once again spun into the infield. We'll see the yellow flag. We'll get Alan back and the field bunched up. And a big happy birthday going out to Archer. I'm assuming that's Archer Bachman driving that number 57 out there, currently running in the 3rd spot.
3rd place, a pretty solid finish for the birthday boy. We'll see if we might be able to get some battles from him. Might move into those top 2 spots. Single file lineup is ready to go through turns 3 and 4. Green flag's gonna fly, and it's Halapka setting the pace and leading the charge into turns 1 and 2. Pettit right behind him in 2nd. Then it's Bachman leading a 3-cart battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Out front, our top 2 racers slowly starting to separate themselves from the rest of the field. Halapka, Pettit just 0.2 seconds behind, holding on strong. We are officially halfway through this final heat race of our junior wing class. Gonna see if we might be able to see some movement. That battle for 3rd still raging on strong. Bachman's got it. Byrne powers down to the inside, bumps in, moves up into that podium spot. Birthday boy's not gonna go without a fight though. He ducks down low, spins around in the process.
Bachman able to keep going. We will stay green. There's 2 laps to go for Bentley Halapka out front in that 99. The white flag will fly, 1 to go. Jonathan Pettit III continues on in the 2nd spot in that 3J. They race down the backstretch into turn 3 and out of turn number 4. Bentley Halapka wins heat race number 3. Jonathan Pettit III goes in 2nd. Alan Byrne 3rd. Ty Prochnow in 4th. Kane Buss 5th. And Archer Bachman rounds out the field in 6th.
Now, Colin, I don't know if I'd call myself a superstitious person, so to say, but one thing that I think is pretty wild about all 3 of those heat races we just had there in the junior wing class, in each heat race, the racer that ended up finishing 2nd did come from the outside of the 3rd row. So we've got some great racing action movement through the field there. And it looks like that 6th place starting spot has some pretty good signs showing for those junior wing racers. But just like that, we're going to move on to something slightly different here as we move into our rookie cage class. Now, we've had some youngsters out on the track so far tonight, but now we are going to go even younger here. So these rookie cage racers are going to be racers who are basically brand new to the sport of racing, going to be between the ages of 5 to 7 years old. And now, similar to what we were saying for the Arbox class, but even stronger so, these racers, we're going to do things a little differently. We send them out, give them the green flag right off the bat. Your starting lineup's going to look like this. The 13 of Colfax, Wisconsin's Julian Logslet. The 22 of Theo LeBlond racing out of Downsville, Wisconsin. Hudson, Wisconsin's Paxton Friedrich racing the number 3. And the 5S of Winona, Minnesota's Sam Pettit. Now, like I was saying earlier there, we just kind of send these racers out there, give them the green flag, and let them get in their 8 laps of heat race action. Now, what this class is meant for, there are going to be a few different types of racers that you guys will see in this class. It will either be, people who are brand new to the sport of racing, or, pretty new there. So I believe we have a couple racers here who have been in this class since last year. So, they're still pretty young, fresh, getting a feel for what kart racing is like. They may have been behind the wheel of a kart for a year now. A couple racers here have been behind the wheel of a kart for a few weeks. And some of these racers, it may even be their first time behind the wheel, period. Getting a chance to see what racing is like at a competitive level. It won't be quite as competitive as, let's say, the K&K Racing micro sprints that we'll see later on this evening, but it is going to be a different type of competition for these racers out there, giving them their laps, seeing what it's like to be out on an actual racing surface, battling against other riders. And we can see the 22 machine of Theo LeBlond showing these rookie cage racers how it's done, bobbing and weaving through the competition, making a nice little pass for position there. We have 2 little side-by-side battles going on there. The 13 of Logslet racing against the 3 of Friedrich. We just saw the 22 of LeBlond versus the 5S of Pettit. Side-by-side action throughout the field here. We may only have 4 rookie cage competitors tonight, but we've had nights here where we've had just about 10-plus rookie cage racers. And just like that, we are going to get our checkered flag in the rookie cage class, giving all of our youngsters out there a chance to see what it's like on the 6 Mile Thunder Hill Speedway Oval. And just like that, we went from one completely different class into another. We're going to bring out our Legends Direct Legend cars. We got a special sponsorship going on with these racers tonight. Now, they have $400 to win on the line here, thanks to Rolling Thunder Legends sponsoring the money tonight for the Legends Direct Legend Cars class. So we have 1 heat race, 8 racers making the entry, all going to be duking it out later on this evening for $400 of cold, hard cash. And Colin, I'll let you take things over for tonight's starting lineup.
Inside of row number 1 from Pierre, South Dakota, that's the 60 of Mark Brewer. And to the outside from Cumberland, Wisconsin, Aiden Erickson at 49. Derek Crummy from Eau Claire, Wisconsin, drives 33 on the inside of row number 2. And the outside, it's the 86 from Sparta, Wisconsin, that's Davey Pinnell. Inside of row number 3, it's Teddy Kashadi from Ramsey, Minnesota in the 7K. To the outside, Osseo, Wisconsin's Chris Sleep in 4S. Inside of row number 4, it's Levi Brewer from Ridgeland, Wisconsin in the 94. And to the outside from Ramsey, Minnesota, the 67, it's Josiah Kashadi. Those are your 8 cars. Going to go 8 laps for your one and only heat race for the Legends Direct Legend cars tonight. As once again, it's Brewer and Erickson setting the pace down the back straightaway. Field begins to tighten up as we will race into turn 3 and 4 to the green flag.
Nice shot on the outside there from the 49 of Aiden Erickson, setting the pace and leading the charge. But he's got company. Brewer right behind him, trying to hold on to those top spots there. He lost that inside line early on, and now it looks like he's drifting a little high, pushing all the way back to 5th in the process as we're 3 wide through turns 3 and 4. Erickson leading the charge out front. Now it's Crumry, Pinnell, Sleep, and Brewer rounding out your top 5 as we got more 3 wide racing action. Might even be flirting with 4 wide here momentarily.
Good battle for that second spot as well. Crumry on the top in the 33. Pinnell on the bottom in the 36. Pinnell's got it back at the line. Aiden Erickson out front still. This time around, there's 5 laps down. The lead last time was 1.2 seconds for Erickson. This time down to 1.1 seconds. Pinnell starting to reel in ever so slightly the leader, Aiden Erickson.
Starting to space things out slightly throughout the field, but we've all got some close racing action going on, just about 1 car length, maybe 2 or 3 separating most of our competitors there. We are single file throughout the field. It's Erickson getting the white flag. 1 more lap to go for the 49 machine. Going to take it through turns 3 and 4. Dragging it down to the line. Aiden Erickson going to take the heat race win today. The 86 of Pinnell going to finish second. And it's the 33 of Crumry rounding out your top 3 in the Legends Direct Legends class. As a reminder, tonight's sponsor for this class, Rolling Thunder Legends, sponsoring the money for the $400 to win class. But, you know, a name we haven't been able to bring up quite yet. We want to give a huge shout out to tonight's premier sponsor, TNT Construction from Menomonie, Wisconsin. Tim Tillison, the owner of TNT, has been a longtime friend and supporter of Thunder Hill Speedway, so we're super appreciative of him to be the title sponsor for the Mid-Season Money Wednesday at night special here tonight. Happy to have TNT Construction along for the ride. As we move into our next group of heat races, we have a lone heat race in the intermediate wing class. 8 racers going to be hitting the track for 8 laps. The 2A of Audrey Traceth out of Birchwood, Wisconsin. To Audrey's right, Alan Byrne racing the 8X from Trempolo. Inside row number 1, it's the 27 of Xander Glumsky, the 1S of Subert. Pluckus Smith, Pettit the 3rd, and Haas going to round out your field as we're green flag racing. Not going to be the start we were wanting there, though. So we're going to re-rack and restack. I'll give you a better starting lineup here. We had Traceth and Byrne out front. Glumsky and Subert in that second row. Third row, on the inside, it's going to be the 8 of Kennedy Cluckus out of Colfax, Wisconsin, alongside Stanley, Wisconsin's Reese Smith racing the 44 machine. And in that fourth and final row, the 3J of Jonathan Pettit III out of Winona, Minnesota, and Thorpe, Wisconsin's Colin Haas racing the 17. Green flag is going to drop for a second time. And it looks like it's going to be a drag race into 1 and 2, side by side, Byrne and Traceth and Byrne. Who's it going to be with the slight advantage? Back onto the front straight. Byrne going to be your early race leader. Already developing a half-second gap there between the 27 of Glumsky and him. Behind Glumsky, we've got a tight 5-racer battle for position. Glumsky jumping back. Haas now up to second, Subert in third. 3 wide on the back straightaway. Glumsky, Smith, and Reese. Reese going to look down low, trying to make a move up into the top 5 there. Able to do so. Out front, all alone, though, it's the 8X of Alan Byrne with quite a gap over the rest of the field there. Byrne now with a 1.5 second gap between him and the 17 of Haas. Haas with about 3 kart lengths ahead of the 1S of Subert. Then a little gap before we get back to the 3J of Pettit III and the 44 of Smith with 3 laps left to go.
Alan Byrne continuing to lead out front. Last time by was a 1.8 second lead. This time around it's 1.9 seconds. Just under 2 seconds for Alan Byrne. Alan Haas continuing to run in second with Dylan Subert in third. This time by, white flag is out. 1 lap to go for Alan Byrne, who's put the smackdown here in the only heat race for the intermediate wing. Out of turn number 4, Alan Byrne wins the heat race. Second will go to Callan Haas. Third is Dylan Subert. Then it's Jonathan Pettit III, Reese Smith, Xander Glumsky, Kennedy Klukas, and Audrey Traceth.
Yet another heat race on the night where our second place competitors from the very back of the field, final row. So we've got some nice movements in all of our classes tonight, some great racing action being put out there for us. And now we're going to move into our Sportsman class, where we have another solo heat race about to hit the track. 7 racers for 8 laps. As we're starting to near the end of our heat races for the evening, we have 5 heat races left to go, including the Sportsman. Our lineup's going to look like this: the 199 of Steven Savals out of Rice Lake, Wisconsin, alongside Trayton Velchek, racing the 55 out of Rock Falls, Wisconsin. Inside row number 2, Eau Claire, Wisconsin's Jake Johnson racing the 74, and Baldwin, Wisconsin's Dylan Alton in the 166. Row number 3 has the 100 out of Menomonie, Wisconsin of Drew Alton, alongside Josh Fuster racing the 76 out of Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. And all alone in that fourth and final row, the 555 of Hudson, Wisconsin's Trayton Velchek.
We're underway for the Sportsman heat race. Savals has the lead down the back straightaway. Will battle for second in a 3 and 4. But at the line, leading lap number 1 is Steve Savals. Second will go to Jake Johnson, Trayton Velchek, Drew Alton, Matt Velchek, Dylan Alton, and Josh Fuster are the 7. We've got 2 together. That was the 55 of Velchek and the 100 of Alton. Everybody able to stay green. Good battle out front.
Battle for the lead still raging on strong as Johnson looks down to the inside, bumping through 3 and 4, trying to make the pass any way possible, but Savals is going to hold on to it here for another lap. Johnson taking that inside line, trying just about everything possible, but Savals is not giving up. It is Savals, Johnson, Alton, Velchek, your top 5, as we've got a nice 5-cart battle for position behind as well.
A battle for the lead and a battle for 3rd and 4th. Savals still has it. Johnson now will take it. Savals crosses him over down the back straightaway. Savals to the inside, Johnson to the outside. At the line, it's going to go to my race pass with Jake Johnson leading. 2 laps to go.
Side by side, still on the back straightaway. That battle for the lead raging on hard. This time around, white flag is out. Slight advantage to the 74 of Johnson. Just 0.1 seconds between them as we got 2 bumping and banging coming out of 2. Drag race to the line, though. Savals going to go around. Johnson going to get by and take the win. I don't believe we threw the caution there. Can't quite see.
Pandemonium on the final lap of that one. Let's see how we will score the race here. It looks like it might be a caution flag for the 2 that were around with Alton and Trayton Velchek. It looks like that is the case. So it's going to be Johnson, Savals, Velchek. That would be Matt Velchek in the 555. Those will be your top 3 as we've got a green-white checkered here to the finish.
Johnson with a great start there, pulling away, gets the checkered flag, and it's going to be Johnson, Savals in second, and then it's going to be the 55 of Trayton Velchek rounding out your top 3 after a interesting finish there. Doing a nice little green checkered for our Sportsman class, heat race 1 of 1. Up next, our 125-250 wing class. Another solo heat race here, 10 racers, 8 laps for our 125-250 wing class. Lineup is going to look like this: the 8 of Brody Conkey out of Elk Mountain, Wisconsin, side by side with New Richmond, Wisconsin's Tyler Alton in the 30. We have the 66B of Blake DeSmith racing out of Downing, Wisconsin, alongside Madison, Wisconsin's Holden Harder racing the UFO2. Inside row number 3, it's the 22 of Rice Lake, Wisconsin's Davin Hawk, and Jackson Helen piloting the 2.0 out of Cadott, Wisconsin. Inside row number 4, Menomonie, Wisconsin's very own Caleb Kropp racing the 29. And to his right, the 13E of Nick Moulter out of Bruce, Wisconsin. Inside that 5th and final row, we have the 99 of Bentley Halapka racing out of Wheeler, Wisconsin, and Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin's Landon Suprai racing the 99 JR. 10 racers. 8 laps.
Zach, we also have a
for our solo
shout
125 heat race.
Huge shout out going out to William Denzer. William has all your Schaefer's oil products needs. You can contact William at 651-253-0999.
Schaefer Specialized Lubricants, one of our new stream sponsors that we have here at MBTV Sports. As a reminder, we said it a little bit earlier on today, but if you had any family or friends who weren't able to make it out for tonight's racing action on the mid-season money Wednesday night special here at Thunder Hill Speedway, we are live streaming tonight's events online at mbtvsports.com, along with the MBTV Sports Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter/X pages. So feel free to send those links around so even your family and friends who weren't able to be out here are able to be a part of the racing action on this beautiful Wednesday night in Menomonie, Wisconsin. Looks like our racers are lined up and all ready to go. Through 3 and 4, green flag gonna fly. Both Conkey and Alton setting the pace, leading the charge through 1 and 2. Slight advantage to the 30 of Alton as he pulls away from that battle for second on back.
It's going to be Hawk in the second spot at the line, and then it's Conkey. Now here comes Holton Harder along with Jackson Helland. Way a little out of shape in the back, but everybody's able to stay straight. Tyler Alton continues to lead. Good battle now for that third spot between Helland and Conkey. At the line, it's still going to be Conkey in that number 8. Tyler Alton starting to distance himself from Davin Hauk in second.
Alton, Hauk, Conkey, Helland, Harder, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, as we're halfway through this heat race. Alton with a solid gap between him and the 22 of Hauk. About a full second gap there. 2 laps left to go. It's Alton, Hauk, Conkey, Helland, Harder.
Out of turn number 4, the white flag will fly one more time around for the 30 of Alton. Hawk's got one more chance through turn 3 and 4. He'll come within a car length, but Tyler Alton wins the heat race for the 125-250 wings. Davin Hauk second, Brody Conkey third, Jackson Helland fourth, Holton Harder fifth, Bentley Halapka sixth, Nick Moulter in seventh, Landon Super in eighth, Blake DeSmith in ninth, and Caleb Kropp rounding out the field in 10th. Next up, 3 big micro sprint heat races. Zach, what's that first heat race look like?
Heat race number 1 is going to look like this for us tonight. 7 competitors hitting the track, trying to get $400 to win. Row number 1, we have the 28 of Trempealeau, Wisconsin's Mason Hale side by side with Ryan Franzen, racing the 9F out of Owatonna, Minnesota. Inside row number 2, it's Becker, Minnesota's 128 of Marshall Willing. And to his right, Owen Henricks racing the 10 out of St. Cloud, Minnesota. Inside row number 3, it's New Richmond, Wisconsin's Brian Link racing the 628 machine. And on the outside of row number 3, it's the 27C of Potosi, Wisconsin's Jeff Friedrich. And all alone in that 4th and final row out of Waupun, Wisconsin, it's the 26P of Jackson Peters. 7 racers in heat race number 1, 7 racers in heat 2, 7 racers in heat number 3, for a total of 21 K&K Racing micro sprint racers. All racing for $400 to win later on tonight. K&K Racing sponsoring the money tonight in the K&K Racing micro sprint class. So we got another big money night here thanks to some of our sponsors. Again, TNT Construction from Menomonie, Wisconsin, our premier sponsor of the night. K&K Racing and Rolling Thunder Legends, some class sponsors on the evening as the green flag flies. And it's Franzen and Hale leading the charge into 1 and 2 as we're nearly 4 wide coming out of turn 2 onto the back stretch, out onto the front straightaway. First official lap in the books for, I believe, the 9F of Franzen.
Franzen out front. Second is Owen Henricks. At the line, third is Mason Hale, and then it's Marshall Willing. And it's Jeff Friedrich in that 5th spot. Ryan Franzen out front in that 9F, all the way around to the top side right now of the Thunderhill Speedway.
Nice side-by-side action going on in battles for 3rd and 4th and 5th and 6th. And Franzen putting on a great show out front. Almost a full second gap between him and the 10 of Henricks. And then we have another full second gap before we get back to that what's now a 4-cart battle for 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Hale's holding on to that 3rd place spot. Friedrich in the 27C just behind in 4th. Willing in the 128 behind that. Our 4th competitor just shy of, a little bumping and banging there in that battle for 4th and 5th. White flag is out though, one more lap to go for the 9F of Franzen.
They'll race to the line. Ryan Franzen will win. Owen Henricks in 2nd. Mason Hale 3rd. Marshall Willing 4th. Jeff Friedrich in 5th. Mason Peters in 6th. And Brian Link rounds out the field in 7th. Good racing for heat race number 1 for the micro sprints. And your heat race number 2 will line up like this from Ellsworth, Wisconsin in the 46G. It's Jackson Giraji out on the inside of row number 1, and to the outside, the number 9 from Milo, Iowa, it's Luke Lane. Welcome, North Carolina's Jaden Wagner pilots the 8W to the inside of row number 2, and to the outside from Trempealeau, Wisconsin, the 28X is Maddie Hale. Starting in the 5th spot from Lakeland, Minnesota, the 22 is Brody Urbanski, and to the outside from River Falls, Wisconsin, it's Carter Jensrud in C71. Starting all alone in that 7th spot in row number 4. He's from Eau Claire, Wisconsin. That's the number 88. It's Caleb Moen. 7 cars, once again, will go 8 laps for the 2nd of 3 micro sprint heat races. As you can see this evening, the micro sprints without the wings on top and down the front. As Zach was saying earlier, 21 cars lined up to do battle here at the Thunderhill Speedway. We will go green out of turn number 4 for 8 circuits around.
Green flag flying, and we've got a 6 racer battle for the lead up front there. 3 wide every lap so far. Nice little separation there going between our top 2 racers out front. It's the C71 of Jensrud. From the 3rd row, already up to the lead here. He's been dominating all season as we've got one looping, bumping, banging, all sorts of chaos coming out of turn number 2. We're going to bring our cars here to a stop. Make sure everyone's good to go. For those of you streaming, let's take a look at this instant replay coming through 1 and 2. We have a full 7-cart battle for position. Jensrud goes down low. He's able to skirt by, but we've got all sorts of bumping and banging movement all around. 4 cars getting all caught up in this. It was our racer sitting in 2nd place, though, who ended up taking the brunt of the force.
It all started back in turn number 3 and 4. A massive slide job from Carter Jensrud. And then Luke Lane tried to return the favor in 1 and 2. Unfortunately, not able to hang on to that number 9. He'll go around. Tagged in that wreck was Luke Lane, Caleb Moen, Jackson Giraji, Brody Urbanski, and Maddie Hale. Looks like everybody but the 4 of Lane, and then I believe it's the 46G of Giraji stopped over there in turn number 3 as well. We'll get everybody sorted out here and everybody in the proper starting position as we will get that number 9 of Luke Lane taken back to the pit area.
Well, we have a couple seconds here. I want to take some time to thank some of our sponsors here for the season. We have People's State Bank helping us with all our banking needs, along with Culver's Menomonie, Coyote's Den out of Menomonie, and the Timber Inn Bar and Grill. Huge Shout out to all of them for joining us for the 2025 QualityFreightRate.com Storm Series season here at Thunder Hills Speedway in Menomonie, Wisconsin. As a reminder, tonight we had to reschedule after Mother Nature got things a little wet last week, so we are here for our mid-season shootout, the Wednesday night special mid-season money race. We will be back to our regularly scheduled programs 2 weeks from tonight, Wednesday, August 13th. We're back for Storm Series race number 5. Back to some regular points racing action. And as a reminder, for all of those out there, that is going to be our alumni night. So we do have specials going on every week here on out. Tonight is our big money night that we have for non-points racing. Next race, Storm Series race number 5, is going to be our alumni night. So any previous racers out there in the stands, as long as you have a pic of proof showing that you've raced there, you get in for free into the grandstand. So any retired or no longer racing previous racers, make sure to make it on out 2 weeks from tonight, August 13th, for Storm Series race number 5, alumni night. 2 weeks after that, August 27th, we'll be back for race number 6, which is another special race. That one's going to be our double points night. So we may not be racing for points this evening, but on August 27th, we will be racing for double points. So that's definitely going to give a chance to shake up the current point standings all across the board. It'll be anyone's game that night. You won't want to miss some double points racing action. Before we get into our final stretch of specials for this, Friday and Saturday, September 5th and 6th, is going to be the Wisconsin Dirt Track Championships, where we're doing a complete show each night. Saturday night dashes, we got qualifying. We'll have some midgets racing on Saturday night only. Harvest Hustle is going to be Friday and Saturday, September 26th and 27th. And then Saturday, October 11th, will be our Bone Shaker Showdown, rounding out the season. Back on the track, though, green flag is flying. Jensrud going to set the pace into 1 and 2, but he's got company way down to the inside. Jensrud able to do a slide job, make his way back up to the lead. The 88 of Moen, though, putting on a battle for him. Jensrud and Moen side by side, swip-swapping every which way around. It's Jensrud, it's Moen, it's Jensrud, it's Moen. Moen up to the lead now. Moen's taking that nice low line, drifting high. Jensrud taking that high line, drifting down low. They have swapped every single corner there. And now don't count out the 8W of Wagner. Wagner trying to get in onto the mix, as well as we've now got a 3-cart battle for the lead with 3 laps to go.
Good racing out front. Caleb Moen now comfortably into that lead position with Carter Jensrud in second, Jaden Wagner in third. This time around, we'll see the white flag. 1 more lap to go for the 88 of Caleb Moen. A little bobble in turn 3 and 4. Now here comes Wagner to the inside of Jensrud. 2, 3, and 4. Caleb Moen wins heat race number 2. Second will go to Jaden Wagner. Third to Carter Jensrud. Brody Urbanski fourth. And rounding out the running order, Maddie Hale finishes in the 5th spot. A little way from Caleb Moen. Heck of a heat race there for heat number 2. Our final heat race of the evening will come out next. And Zach, what is that starting lineup?
Starting lineup is going to look like this for heat race number 3. Inside of row number 1, starting off on the pole is Welch, Minnesota's 99 of Mason Subert. Side by side with Kelly Turner racing the 23 out of Otter Creek, Wisconsin. Inside of row number 2, we have New Richmond, Wisconsin's Landon Davis piloting the 37, alongside the 3J of Hudson, Wisconsin's Brandon Friedrich. Inside row number 3, we have Alyssa Edie racing the 100 machine out of St. Michael, Minnesota. And to her right, Mora, Minnesota's Landry Singleton racing the 19L. And all alone in that 4th and final row is going to be out of Rock Valley, Iowa. It's the 2X of Clint Nelson. 7 racers, 8 laps for our final heat race of the night. We got a shout out on the socials. Lori Harris saying, good job, Caleb Moen. Caleb taking the heat race win in our previous heat race number 2 of the K&K Racing Micro Sprints class. For heat race number 3, it's a who's who of who is going to take the gold in this final heat race of the night. After this, we will move into our B main events. I believe we have 2 B mains. We have a B main in the Arbox class and a B main in the junior wing class. So we will have some racers trying to make their way out and transfer into the much coveted A mains, where we will be racing not for points tonight, but for some cold, hard dollar bills. In all classes except the rookie cage class. Rookie cage, those youngsters out there still going to be racing for some trophies, but we've got some great cash prizes out there. Lori Harris saying, "Let's go Landry," watching from Southeast Iowa. That's one of the things we love about being able to have some MBTV Sports streaming coverage here at Thunder Hill Speedway. You'll be able to have fans from all across the U.S. tune in to some great racing action here on this beautiful 6th Mile Speedway in good old Menomonie, Wisconsin. We've got our cars out there. The final heat race of the evening, the K&K Racing Micro Sprint class. Again, we'll give them a chance to warm up their tires in a couple hot laps here, but it's Subert Turner in row number 1, Davis, Friedrich in row 2, Edie Singleton in row 3, and Nelson all alone in that 4th and final row. Well, we have another second. Huge shout out to a few more of our sponsors here for the year. Accurate Construction, JK Concrete LLC, and Haas Inc. for all your construction work, along with tonight's premier sponsor for the evening, sponsoring tonight's racing action for the mid-season money Wednesday night special. TNT Construction from Menomonie, Wisconsin. Again, Tim Tillison, owner of TNT, has been a longtime friend and supporter of Thunder Hill. Got to give him some huge love. Justin Wellman says, Wellman Racing is watching from Youngstown, Ohio. We love Thunder Hill. Well, we are happy that we can bring you to the beautiful 6th Mile all the way out in Ohio. We're happy to have you. As a reminder, send those streaming links to any of your friends or family, whether they're at the grocery store, couldn't make it tonight, at work, or if they're on the other side of the country, other side of the globe. Send those streaming links their way so they can be a part of tonight's beautiful racing action through turns 3 and 4. We're going to tighten them up as the green flag flies, and it's Mason Subert leading them into turns 1 and 2.
Subert quickly up to the top side. He'll take the lead down the back straightaway. Landon Davis in that 2nd spot. Here comes Singleton on the top to 3rd. Mason Subert leads lap number 1 in 99. Landon Davis continues to give chase with Singleton 3rd. And Friedrich in the 4th spot with Clint Nelson, Edie, and Turner rounding out the field so far through 2 laps.
Subert out front, but he's got competition right behind him. The 37 of Davis, slowly but surely gaining some ground. Last time they were half a second gap in between. Now it's 0.4 second. Scott Vincent shouting out 19L Good Landry. Landry getting a lot of love tonight as we have one racer going around on the front straightaway. Looks like that was the 2X of Clint Nelson, I believe, looping it around, coming out of turn number 4 there. So we are going to receive quick caution there in our final heat race of the night.
Clint Nelson from down by Rock Valley, Iowa. A little family connection with me and Clint. He helps my younger brother with a Race Saver 305 sprint car every once in a while at the Rapid Speedway in Rock Rapids, Iowa. But Mason Subert is your leader out front in 99 as we go back to the green flag with 5 laps to go.
Single file.
Subert and Davis quickly to the top.
Subert holding on to that top line there. Right behind him, Davis still holding on to that 2nd place position. Rest of the field slowly starting to pull away behind them. It's Singleton in 3rd, Friedrich in 4th, Edie rounding out your top 5 as that battle for the lead still rages on.
2 laps to go. Lead duo stretching that lead out. 1.371 seconds from second to third. Subert continues to lead on the white flag. Let's see if Davis wants to throw a slide job in turn 3 and 4. He'll duck to the inside. He'll look to slide up the speedway. Not going to be enough. Mason Subert wins. Landon Davis second. Landry Singleton third. Brandon Friedrich in that fourth spot. Clint Nelson in fifth. Alyssa Edie in sixth. And Kelly Turner rounding out the field in seventh. Heat racing action completed now, as we will go to our first B main event, and that will be in the junior wing division. Make sure we've got everybody lined up back there. Once we get the two B mains completed, there will be a slight intermission. Cars rolling onto the speedway, and the lineup for the B main, only taking the top two transfers, will line up like this inside of row number 1, Marshfield, Wisconsin's Joseph Bargender in the number 10, and to the outside from River Falls, Wisconsin in the 85T, it's Ty Prochnow. Inside of row number 2 from Menomonie, that's the 7DJR, it's Kinsley Smuts. And to the outside, Mason Lockburner from Bruce, Wisconsin in the number 20. Starting 5th from Boyceville, Wisconsin, it's Kane Buss in the 88. And to the outside, Easton Schultz from right down the road in Menomonie in 7S. Starting in the 7th spot, Owen Malmgren from Woodville, Wisconsin in the 21M. Archer Bachman in the 57 from Luck, Wisconsin starts 8th. And Archer Hoffbeck from Randolph, Minnesota will round out the starting order in the 9th spot, as we will go green with 5 cars making the call.
And it's actually the Arbox class that's out there right now. So leading the charge, it's going to be the 32 of Otto Eriksson. And just like that, the 3K of Kaylee Matheny able to move by. Matheny now up to second. Out front all alone, the 21 of Palmer Haas started on the outside of row number 1, taking that charge. The 3K of Matheny sitting in second. Now it's the 32 of Eriksson in third. The 1 of Bentley Larson in fourth. The 17 of Josiah Hoffbeck rounding out your top 5. Top 2 racers going to transfer, and we've got a battle for that third spot right behind them. Haas holding on strong in that lead, but that second transfer spot is anyone's game at this point. Matheny has it. Eriksson trying to take that back over after a rough start there from the pole.
Haas has got the lead, but Matheny right there in that second spot with Eriksson waiting for any sort of mistake to be able to get by. The gap closes for that second and final transfer spot ever so slightly, but Palmer Haas continuing to lead out front in the 21.
Through turns 1 and 2, it's still Haas all the way. Matheny in the 3K holding on to second. Eriksson slowly but surely losing a little bit of ground there as we get the white flag. One more lap to go for our racers. The battle's now turning out to be up front between our top 2. Just for bragging rights here as we come out of turn number 4, drag race to the line, and it's going to be the 21 machine of Palmer Haas taking the win in the B main. He's going to transfer through along with the 3K of Kaylee Matheny out of Des Moines, Iowa, going to finish second. Matheny and Haas going to transfer through to the A main later on, where they are going to be able to fight it out for $150 to win. Up next, our second of 2 B mains going to be hitting the track. It is our junior wing class. We gave you a little sneak peek of what they're going to be looking like, but your lineup is now going to be like this. The 10 of Joseph Bargender out of Marshfield, Wisconsin, side by side with the 85T of Ty Prochnow from River Falls, Wisconsin. Inside row number 2, it's the 7DJR of Menomonie, Wisconsin's Kinsley Schmutz, alongside the 20 machine of Mason Lockburner out of Bruce, Wisconsin. Inside row number 3, Kane Buss piloting the 88 out of Boyceville, Wisconsin, alongside the 7S of Menomonie, Wisconsin's Easton Schultz. Green flag is out. Malmgren, Bachman, Hoffbeck rounding out your field. And out front all alone, It's the 7S, I believe, or the 7DJR, my bad. Setting the pace, leading the charge. Bargender holding on to that second and final transfer spot. Bargender going around, though. Locking wheels with the 20 machine of Mason Lockburner as they both duck down to the infield. Let's take a quick look at what happened there. Bargender on the outside, Lockburner on the inside. They go onto the front straightaway, get a little sideways. Lockburner goes a little too high. Bargender cuts down low, and they completely lock there on that front right corner of Lockburner, rear left corner of Bargender. Didn't seem like anyone fought too hard in that one, just some good old-fashioned racing action. And it looks like it's going to be the 85T of Ty Prochnow who's able to benefit from that lock, as Prochnow is now going to move up a position and move into that transfer spot. Getting everyone lined up in their correct restarting order. That's the 7DJR of Schmutz. Prochnow sitting in second. Then it looks like it'll end up being the 21M of Owen Malmgren lining up third. Then the 14 of Archer Hoffbeck. The 57 of Archer Bachman. A little Archer back and forth. Then we have the 88 of Buss right behind them. The 50... or the 7S, I think that is, of Easton Schultz right behind. Mary Beth Ingruy saying, Alyssa Edie, we're all watching you and cheering. Nice little shout out to our racers. Green flag is out, though. And it's the 7DJR of Schmutz leading the charge.
A good start for the 14 of Archer Hoffbeck. He'll take over the second and final transfer spot. We've got 2 laps down, 7 laps to go now. We've got a battle for the lead, as well as 2 spinning off of turn number 2. It's Malmgren, and then it's the 85T of Prochnow, as the yellow flag will come out once again, with 2 laps down and 6 to go.
Taking a quick look at what happened there. Coming out of turn number 2, the 21M of Malmgren gets a little too slideways there and collects the 85T of Prochnow in the process. As we've got another 2, one going up on its side. Looks like that's the 57 of Archer Bachman up on his side through 3 and 4. Track crew on the scene, making sure everyone's okay. Through 3 and 4, you can see Bargender and the 57 of Bachman getting into each other. The 7S of Schultz had nowhere to go, bumps right into the side of the 57 of Bachman at just the wrong angle. Let's take another quick look at this side by side on the back straightaway. Bachman and Bargender bumping and banging. Bachman cuts down low, Bargender gets high, spins Bachman around. The 7S of Schultz with nowhere to go gets right into the side and brings the 57 of Archer Bachman up on his side. Everyone does seem good to go, though. Always scary when we have a kart get up on their side. Nothing we ever want to see here, but as you can see, the track crew very quick to make sure our racers were all good and ready to go. And out front, your new lineup is going to end up looking like this. It's Hoffbeck leading the charge, Schmutz in second, Bachman, or the 21M of Malmgren in third. Then it's Bargender and the 20 of Lockburner rounding out your top 5. As Malmgren's getting pushed to the back, one of the karts there that caused that caution in turn 2, I believe. Malmgren going to move to the rear of the field. So it's Hoffbeck, then the 7DJR of Schmutz, the 10 of Bargender, the 20 of Lockburner, and the 88 of Buss going to round out your top 5. The 14 of Archer Hoffbeck, definitely doing well here in this race from the very back of the field up to leading. Lap number 4 as we are now halfway through our B main event. Hoffbeck pulling away from the rest of the field. Schmutz, Bargender, Lockbender, Buss following behind and second on back.
A good battle for the final transfer spot. Schmutz has it. Bargender right on the back bumper of the 7. They'll race down the back straightaway, this time by 2 laps to go for Archer Hoffbeck, who's got a comfortable lead out front in number 14.
Nearly a 2-second gap between Hoffbeck and that battle for the final transfer spot. Schmutz has it. White flag is out. 1 more lap to go for Bargender to make a move on Schmutz. Bargender looks to the outside, sees if there's any option there. Don't count out the 20 of Lockburner as Malmgren goes around once again. Malmgren having some tough luck in turn number 2 there. That is going to draw the caution, which will make this a pretty eventful final couple laps here. Hoffbeck had grown quite a gap there. Bargender was all over the back end of Schmutz, and so our top 3 racers, it is honestly anyone's game at this point. 2 transfer positions to go. Making sure everyone is lined up in their correct restarting order. Well, we have another second here. A few thanks to a few more of our sponsors. Dick's Fresh Market, Liquid Nitro, Old World Meats, and Doan LTD. Helping us bring groceries, food, and drink around for the action. And then on our home building improvement side, Great American Fireplace, Menomonie Flooring Center, Hoffman Homes, and Denny's Appliance all along for the ride in 2025. Through turns 3 and 4, green flag is going to fly. Hoffbeck is going to lead the charge into 1 and 2. Schmutz right behind in second. And now we have the 20 of Lockburner moving up to third, setting his sights on that final transfer position. White flag is out. 1 more lap to go for our racers. Hoffbeck all alone out front with a now second gap in between them. One final time through turns 3 and 4. Your B main feature winner is going to end up being the 14 of Archer Hoffbeck. Second place going to go to the 7DJR of Schmutz by just a small margin. Kinsley Schmutz going to make their way through to the A main. Lockburner and Bargender, after a hard-fought battle there, are going to see their nights come to a close. That brings us to a close for our B main action, and I believe we have 1 race left to go before we take a quick intermission on the evening. We're going to bring our rookie cage competitors out for their main event, give them a quick, I believe it is 12 laps for our rookie cage competitors. 10 laps, my apologies. So we're going to send our 4 racers out there. We have the 22 of Theo LeBlanc, the 13 of Julian Logslit, the 3 of Paxton Friedrich, and the 5S of Sam Pettit, all making the charge there. Green flag is going to fly, and it's the 13 of Logslit leading the field onto the back straightaway, evenly spaced. Logslit, LeBlanc, Pettit, 1, 2, and 3 as it stands. Our racers putting on a great showing here in the rookie cage class. LeBlanc going to duck down to the inside of Logslit. LeBlanc making moves here on the field, as he's going to get by Logslit and try to put a little gap in there between the 2 of them, but that's still a nice battle for position going on there. A little bit of space before we get back to the 3 of Friedrich and the 5S of Sam Pettit. Single file throughout the field. LeBlanc making their way onto the back straightaway. Now we have a nice little battle for second and third going on between the 13 of Logslit and the 3 of Friedrich. LeBlanc going to duck down to the inside of Pettit. Nice little pass there. And it's now the 3 of Friedrich holding on to that second place spot. Now, this is a non-competitive race, but our racers are going to be giving it their all, seeing what it's like to be out on this beautiful 6-mile Thunder Hill Speedway oval. Seem to have some issues in turn number 4 as the 5S of Pettit going to come to a stop there. Track crew on the scene making sure everyone is good to go, and we are going to throw the caution lights out. Pettit's back up and running. And the green flag is going to fly again. LeBlanc going to lead the charge onto the front straightaway there. The 13 of Logslet following suit. LeBlanc putting another lap in the books there, making it look easy here. As all our racers are getting some much needed time behind the wheel. We have the 3 of Hudson, Wisconsin's Paxton Friedrich putting a solid showing in as well. All our racers pretty evenly spaced here throughout the track. Another lap in the books for the 5S of Winona, Minnesota's Sam Pettit. We have some nice close racing action as well going on all race long between the 3 of Friedrich and the 13 of Logslet. Right now, Friedrich holding on to that top spot in that 2-racer battle for position. Logslet looking just about every way on the track, seeing where Friedrich's line is, where he might be able to make some moves. The checkered flag is going to fly, though. Theo LeBlanc, Paxton Friedrich, Julian Logslet, and Sam Pettit all going to take their checkered flags as we move them down into the TNT Construction victory lane here tonight at Thunder Hill Speedway. Now, similar to the rest of the racing action in our rookie cage class, we do victory lane a little bit different. You know, these youngsters just getting a feel for what it's like to be behind the wheel. We want to make sure that everyone understands what it's like to bring their karts into victory lane. So we're going to have all 4 of our racers roll on into the Thunder Hill Speedway victory lane. You see mom and dad, aunts and uncles, grandpas, grandmas, friends and family helping them get all situated there. Looks like we have Logslet, LeBlanc, and Friedrich there. There we have Pettit making his way up there as well. Getting a nice little push from some track crew. We're going to get them all centered there. And as we have them remove their steering wheels, take their helmets off, I want everyone to stand at attention and give the loudest cheer possible for our 4 rookie cage competitors as they hop out of their karts after a hard-fought battle for the rookie cage feature. Let's hear it up for the 13 of Julian Logslet, the 22 of Theo LeBlanc, the 3 of Paxton Friedrich, and the 5S of Sam Pettit. Let's hear a big round of applause, ladies and gentlemen. All 4 of our rookie cage racers, though they may not be getting some cold hard cash tonight, you can see them getting some solid gold bling there, draping it around their necks, some nice gold dollar signs there. Once again, let's hear it for your rookie cage racers tonight. Give it up, ladies and gentlemen. We'll give Julian, Theo, Paxton, and Sam their much-deserved time in victory lane to celebrate their accomplishments. But in the meantime, we are going to take a quick intermission here at Thunder Hill Speedway. For those of you in the grandstands, feel free to get up, stretch your legs, run over to the concession stand, grab some nice warm food, a nice chilly beverage, hit up the restroom. For those of you live streaming tonight's events on MBTV Sports.com, get situated in the living room, go grab a snack from the kitchen, and we will be back momentarily for our main event coverage here during the Wednesday night special mid-season money races here at Thunder Hill Speedway.
So you have about 15 minutes. Lined up and ready to go 15 minutes from now. Hello. Okay, everybody. If you can hear me, down here in front of the concession stand, we have some of the drivers with hero cards giving out autographs. If the kids want to come down and get some stuff, there's some candy down here for the kids also. But some of the legend drivers are down here right now, and some other drivers from some of the other classes. So if you want to come down and get some autographs, come on down.
Candy too.
Oh yeah, they got candy too.
Freight is the backbone of the country, and as long as people need goods, they're going to need somebody to get it to them. My name is Matt Bohl with QualityFreightRate.com, powered by T-Force Worldwide. We provide LTL, truckload, and expedited freight services across this country. If your freight weighs over 120 pounds going over 120 miles, that's where my shipping rates kick in. We help companies ship easier for less. With our system, our customers are able to quote and book shipments with ease 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you're having trouble with damages, lost freight, claims of any sort, we can help you with our experience, solve the problem, tell you why it's happening and what you should do to prevent it in the future. Me and my team have been together for over 20 years. We know this industry. We can help all size business, big or small. We love them all, but we have a special spot for small business. Small businesses are pillars in the community. Low rates are critical for a small business because the margins are generally pretty small. They need to have competitive rates. They can't be getting gouged or they lose the sale. Freight is simple. People make it difficult. We work as consultants in the industry, so it doesn't matter what your problem is, we'll solve it. We educate the customers. We solve problems, and we lower their shipping rates. And that's what I've been doing for 20 plus years.
Every great journey begins with a trusted guide. And when it comes to finding your perfect home, there's no one better than Kathy Vetter. With over 10 years of experience and a passion for real estate, Kathy Vetter helps you find the perfect home, a peaceful country retreat, a cozy single-family house, or your very first step toward a lifetime home. She also specializes in commercial real estate, guiding you through every step of the way. From the heart of the metro to the scenic countryside, Kathy Vetter knows the Minnesota market inside and out, committed to finding the perfect fit for you, no matter where you are. Buying your first home can feel overwhelming, but with Vetter by your side, it's a smooth and exciting journey. She makes first-time buyers feel confident, supported, and understood every single step of the way. From your first showing to handing over the keys, Kathy Vetter works tirelessly to ensure you get the home you've always wanted. Kathy Vetter, your trusted real estate expert across Minnesota. From vibrant metro living to serene countryside escapes to agricultural and commercial spaces. Let her help you unlock the door to your next chapter.
With over 40 years of experience producing quality racing components, we're excited to unveil the Kevco Drive Shaft. Our Kevco Drive Shafts are 100% made in the USA from USA-sourced materials. We have developed our drive shafts using precision machine yokes that offer more clearance with higher strength. than any other shaft on the market. Our yokes are then zinc-plated black for long-lasting protection. All our drive shafts are meticulously hand-built and balanced on our brand new superior Driveline Shaft Master drive shaft machine. Every carbon fiber Kevco drive shaft comes loaded with Spicer 1310, solid body, non-greasable universal joints for superior strength. We offer U-joints, U-bolts, slip yokes, and anything you may need for your drive shaft. Kevco has the ability to custom build any length drive shaft for any application you may need, whether it be mild steel, chromoly, aluminum, or carbon fiber. Call us today at 800-770-3557 or check us out on the web at kevcoracing.com.
My two passions in life is racing and selling good high-end meat. So my grandfather came here from Germany back in the late 20s. He decided to open his own shop in 1951. He had all the recipes, he had all the talent. His father was a meat guy. His father's father was a butcher. They weren't football players, basketball players. They were in the meat business. And that's our family. That's what we're good at. Oval World Meats was derived from Frank's Meats. That was my grandfather's name. I know the quality of my beef is the best because I've purchased it directly from the ranchers that certified Angus beef. We know what our beef is continuously, and it's very consistent. So we're located up here in Duluth on beautiful Lake Superior, just a stone throw off of Highway 61. I've lived here my whole life, and it's where I wanted to raise my family. To be successful, you need to have a talent. And I knew I was going to be in the meat business. I can taste spices, I can pick out flavors, where they need to come in, where they need to stop. So knowing your strengths are important and knowing where you came from. We have a hot snack stick that's got actually 8 different spices of heat in that, and it layers the flavors in the heat. That's what makes the difference with our product. The most exciting part was becoming coast to coast with the Old World Meats snack sticks. My neighbor stopped me on the street and said, "Paul, I was just down in Georgia and this gas station had your product." It was one of the highlights of the year. I don't know of a state at this point that we haven't had product in. Being in business in a small town really puts things into perspective. It's the little things for me to be appreciated and respected. So this whole operation here, it doesn't have to be the biggest, but it needs to have passion. And today, I'm changing lives of people that work with me. My guys are learning lifelong skills and values. That's the good stuff. Let's make the world a better place. Let's have a good time at it.
When you've got to ship it from anywhere to anywhere,
QualityFreightRate.com.
the LTL Freight Logistics Specialist for your small business.
QualityFreightRate.com.
We simplify shipping, eliminate those surprise charges, and negotiate the best rates from most LTL qualified carriers.
QualityFreightRate.com.
Special residential and liftgate rates available for automotive and ag implements.
QualityFreightRate.com.
Use the promo code ICE and get 10% off your first shipment. Startup is so easy. Get a quote and ship today. QualityFreightRate.com.
Ready to make a splash this summer? Grab your friends and head to River's Edge on the scenic Apple River. Whether you're looking to float the day away, camp under the stars, or catch live music and weekend events, River's Edge has everything you need for an unforgettable time. Book your tube, campsite, or party package now. River's Edge on the Apple River. Your summer starts here.
And just like that, our track prep has come to an end, so we are just about to start our feature races for tonight's activities. Once again, tonight is the Wednesday night special mid-season money race here at Thunder Hill Speedway in Menomonie, Wisconsin. We've seen some great racing action so far from all of our classes, and we are bound to see quite a bit more before the end of the evening. We've already finished our first feature race of the night, our rookie cage class, but we have 7 more that'll be coming at you folks here in just a few minutes. I believe the lineup is going to go like this. We'll hit up our Arbox class to start things off. Then we'll move into the junior wing competitors. We'll go from there into our Legends Direct Legends cars, into the intermediate wing, Sportsman class, 125, 250 wing class, and then we will round things off with our K&K Racing Micro Sprints class. Now, as I was saying earlier, and that we've been saying all evening, tonight's races are a little bit different. It's still the same type of racing action that we bring you here every other week at Thunder Hill Speedway. But tonight is not a points night. It is our mid-season money Wednesday night special, marking the halfway point of our racing action for the 2025 QualityFreightRate.com Storm Series here at Thunder Hill Speedway. So instead of awarding our racers with some points action at the end of each race, we will be rewarding them with some well-deserved cold hard cash. Our rookie cage racers were already out there racing for some gold bling, and now our Arbox junior wing, intermediate wing, 125, 250 wing, and Sportsman classes are racing for 150 to win each. Our Micro Sprints and our Legends Direct Legend cars both going to be racing for $400 to win. And just like that, I do see our Arbox racers rolling out onto the track. For those of you live streaming tonight's events on MBTVsports.com, you can see myself and my co-announcer Colin Lloyd not actually announcing from the track tonight, but from the comfort of our homes. You know, we're happy to be able to bring this live racing coverage not only to the fans in the grandstands at Thunder Hill Speedway, but also to all of you live streaming across the country. Starting lineup's going to look like this. We have the 4 of Luke Pettit side by side with the 36 of Henry Junker, 8080 of Barrett Evans, and the 34 Brantley Langer, the 22 of Dirks LeBlanc, and the 20X of Axel Fahrenholtz, 16 of Oakley Booth alongside the 23 of Harper Halopka, the 10 of Bargender, 93 of Knops, 21 of Haas, and 3K of Matheny as the green flag flies. And it's the 4 of Luke Pettit with the early race lead setting the pace, but we've got a couple bumping and banging in 1 and 2, and that's going to draw our first caution of the main events. Looks like that's the 93 of Knops, the 10 of Bargender, and I can't quite see what that third car is. The 3K of Matheny, I believe, was the third cart mixed up in that little wreck there. A rear of the field, little bump and bang going on there. Everyone is all resituated, though. Bargender making their way back up into their correct starting order. And now we will get things right this time around. Already bumping and banging through 3 and 4. I see the 93 of Knops and the 3K of Matheny paused in turn number 4, letting the rest of the carts go around them there so they can take their spots at the rear of the field. So once again, lineup's going to look like this. Pettit and Junker out front in row 1. Evans and Langer in row 2, LeBlanc and Fahrenholtz in row 3, Booth and Halopka in row 4, Bargender and Knops in the 5th and final row. As a reminder, we now have 2 weeks in between this race and our next race. We will be back for our next points paying race on Wednesday, August 13th for round number 5 of the QualityFreightRate.com Storm Series here at Thunder Hill Speedway in Menomonie, Wisconsin, where it will be alumni night. As long as you have a pic of proof that you've raced here before, previous racers will be getting in free for round number 5 of our QualityFreightRate.com Storm Series alumni night. We'll see you again in 2 weeks, but in the meantime, back to green flag action here on the track through 3 and 4. Green flag is going to fly, and it's going to be Pettit and Junker leading the charge into 1 and 2. Junker Stalls on the brakes, little ops to go right behind Pettit. See what his route is. We still have 12 laps of racing action here to bring at you, folks. Younker's willing to take the time to watch Pettit's line as we've got one racer stopped in turn number 4, I think that was. Got them all refired. And we're going to restart yet again here. Make sure everyone is back in their correct starting lineups. Well, we have a second here, getting everyone back lined up. Want to send a big shout out to a few more of our season sponsors. Obviously, tonight's premier sponsor, need to give a big shout out to them, T&T Construction out of Menomonie, Wisconsin. Tim Tillison, the owner of T&T, has been a longtime friend and supporter of Thunder Hill, so we appreciate having him along for the ride, not only tonight, but for the entire 2025 racing season here at Thunder Hill Speedway. In addition, we also have GRP Motorsports and David Jorgensen State Farm along for the ride this year. And when it comes to lawn care and landscaping needs, don't count out Henderson's Excavating and Landscape Supply, Shackleton Tree Service, and Natural Touch. Big shout outs all across the board to all of our wonderful sponsors. And while we're at it, one of our new stream sponsors that we have on for the season here, giving some love to Schaefer's Specialized Lubricants. Contact William Denzer at 651-253-0999 for any of your specialized lubricant needs. Single file restart. Green flag is flying, and Pettit's going to lead the charge into 1 and 2. Junker holding on to second right behind, and then we've got a side-by-side battle for third and fourth between Booth and one of our other racers. I believe that's the 34 of Langer. We're going to spread them out onto the front straightaway. First full official laps into the book, and Pettit's going to set the pace, lead the charge. Another lap in the books for Pettit, Junker, and now Booth. Booth looking on Junker as a caution draws. One of our racers going around. Looks like that is the 21 of Palmer Haas. Oh, my apologies, 23 of Harper Halapka. Harper's going to get relined up in their correct starting order. We'll get back to some green flag action here. Jamie Sawyer giving a shout out on Facebook. Go 3K, watching from Iowa. Giving a shout out to Kaylee Matheny. Matheny was one of the 2 karts who was able to transfer through from the B main into the A main tonight. And getting some love, some shout outs there. As we get our karts relined up in their correct restart order. 10 laps left to go in this 12-lap main event. As a reminder of what our schedule is going to look like, we'll be back again in 2 weeks for your regularly scheduled program, Alumni Night for Storm Series race number 5. 2 weeks after that, August 27th, we'll be back for Double Points Night. That is race number 6 of the season. Single file restart through 3 and 4, a little bumping and banging. Not quite the correct lineup we were looking for. Which gives us a chance to send some love to a few more of our sponsors for the season. Steve Rowan Enterprises and Polish Enterprise LLC along for the ride, along with Cody Plumbing Inc., TL Sins Plumbing Inc., and Lewis Bjork and Family Septic Service. Give them some love. Thank them for being along for the 2025 QualityFreightRate.com Storm Series season here at Thunder Hill Speedway. Let's try this. Third time might be the charm through 3 and 4. Green flag is going to fly. It's Pettit, Junker, Booth, and Langer. The 23 of Halapka sitting right behind. in 5th, rounding out your top 5. Booth and Langer bumping and banging. Gonna spin around through 3 and 4. Let's take a look at what happened here. Going into 3 and 4, Langer ducks down low, Booth goes high. Tries to close the door a little too late, though. Langer already had the spot there. Booth ducks down low and ends up making contact, going to spin around there through 3 and 4. And River calls 1 from YouTube, says, nice work, Caleb and Landry. Show them what's up in that feature. Giving a shout out to our K&K Racing micro sprint racers that we saw earlier on today. They'll be rounding off the evening for us in the features later on tonight. But always happy to give a shout out whenever we see one. For those of you live streaming on MBTVsports.com or through our social media channels, make sure to drop some love in the comments and we will announce it live, as we've got 2 of our racers locked up, I believe. Looks like that is the 21 of Haas and the 93 of Knops. Everyone's resituated now. Looks like Booth and Langer moving to the back after that previous caution that we had. Melissa Forch-Demel says, go Luke! Luke Pettit, your current race leader. We may only be 2 laps in, but Pettit has led all laps so far. It's Pettit, Junker, Halapka, the 20X of Fahrenholtz, and I believe the 88E of Evans right behind in 5th. As the green flag flies, Pettit and Junker slowly pulling away from the rest of the field as we've got a nice 3-cart battle for 3rd, 4th, and 5th. Halapka has it, Fahrenholtz and Evans won it. We might even be turning this into a 5-cart battle for the top 5 positions. Evans ducks down beneath Fahrenholtz. Evans now up to 4th. 3-rider battle up at the lead. Halapka looks to the outside of Junker. Still about a full cart length in between our top 3 racers, but it's getting close. Junker ducks down low. Doesn't make the pass. This gives Halapka a chance to move up to the outside. Not able to make the move, but right on Junker's tail. Looks to the outside, looks down low, seeing what moves might be made there. Out front, all alone, though, it's still the 4 of Luke Pettit leading the charge. Halapka looks low coming out of turn number 2. Junker with the grandstand, though, able to still hold on to that 2nd place spot. But this battle raging for 2nd and 3rd is going to give Pettit the chance he needs to pull further and further away from the rest of the field. Now it's a 4-cart battle for 2nd, 3rd, and 4th as we have the 16 of Oakley Booth now getting up in the mix as well, able to get from 9th or from 11th all the way up. Pettit's got issues, though. Pettit moves back. Junker's your new race leader. The 23 of Halapka battling for that race lead. Ducks down low. Evans now in the mix as well. Evans to the outside of Halapka. Don't count out Booth. Booth's right there as well, as we're going to have the caution drawn. Not quite sure what happened with the 4 of Pettit, though. All of a sudden, he was off the pace. I saw the rest of the field go right by him, and now we saw him looped in turn number 4 there. And that is exactly what not only Henry Junker wanted, but also the 88E of Evans, the 16 of Booth, and the 23 of Halapka, as they were all in a tight-knit 4-rider battle for position, working out in their favor. As the lineup will now stand like this: Junker, Halapka, Evans, Booth. In your top 4, right behind them, I believe that is the 20X of Fahrenholtz in 5th. LeBlanc, Langer right behind them. As they go out onto the front straightaway, green flag flies. Junker tries to pull away from the pack, but it's not doing him any good, as we've got a 3-rider battle for second, third, and fourth. Halapka holding on to second. Evans in third. Booth in that fourth spot. Booth and Evans look to split the difference around. Halapka not going to work, but Booth is going to make a move up to third. Evans not too happy with that, tries to battle back down low. Nothing going there. It's still Junker, Halapka, Booth, Evans. White flag is out. One more lap to go for our racers. On the back straightaway through turns 3 and 4, it's going to be a drag race down to the line. Who's it going to be? Feature race win is going to go to the 36 of Henry Junker, taking the win tonight. 23 of Halapka going to finish second. Booth going to round out your podium in the 16. Then it'll be Evans and Fahrenholtz rounding out your top 5 after a hard-fought battle there. We're going to give the 36 of Henry Junker a chance to move into the TNT Construction victory lane here tonight, as we get our first money winner of the evening. 36 machine of Henry Junker. We're going to give him a chance to hop on out of his cart. And at a spry 8 years old, Henry Junker is $150 richer. Man, as an 8-year-old, $150, that could go pretty far. As he climbs out of his cart. Having a little trouble there with the steering wheel, it seems. There we go, Dad's got him all good. He'll hop on out, take off his helmet. And let's hear a huge round of applause for your first money-winning feature race winner, the 36 of Henry Junker. Standing on top of his cart, wearing that fresh gold bling and 150 smackaroonies lining his pocket. Once again, Henry Junker, your first money-winning feature race winner of the evening. Well, we give him a chance to celebrate his time in victory lane. I'm going to pass it on over to Colin so we can hear your starting lineup for our next main event, Junior Wing Class.
Starting on the inside of row number 1 from Owatonna, Minnesota, that's the 19 of Jacob Demmel. And to the outside from Minnesota City, Minnesota, that's the 21 of Ashton Fahrenholtz. Inside of row number 2 from right down the road in Menomonie, that's the 31 of Grant Keller. And to the outside, starting in the 4th spot from Winona, Minnesota, it's Jonathan Pettit III in 3J. Starting in 5th from Superior, Wisconsin, the 1T of Tanner Johnson. And to the outside from Wheeler, Wisconsin, it's Bentley Halapka in 99. Inside of row number 4, Luke Patterson from Farmington, Minnesota in the 15 Junior. And to the outside from Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin, the 18T, it's Trip Swan. Starting 9th from Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin, the 1S is Dylan Subert. And starting 10th from Chempolo, Wisconsin, it's Alan Byrne in the number 8. Starting in the 11th spot, that's the 14 of Archer Hoffbeck from Randolph, Minnesota. And your final starter from Menomonie, Wisconsin in the 7D Junior, it's Kinsley Schmutz. Those are your 12 starters going 12 laps around for the Junior Wing, a main event here at the Thunderhill Speedway. Looks like we've got everybody lined up and we are set. Corey Franksroot says, way to go, Hank. And we are green on a turn number 4 for 12 laps around. Demmel taking the lead into turn number 1.
Bumping and banging from second on back. As we've got some company up there in the front, we now have a 4-cart battle for 3rd, 4th, 5th, and 6th. Might even be throwing a few extras into the mix, though. 3J of Pettit III able to sneak by into 3rd place. The 31 machine of Keller Going to drop back a couple positions as now the 15 JR of Patterson and the 99 of Halopka able to make their way up. Out front all alone, though, the 19 of Jacob Demmel setting the pace with a solid 0.75 second gap over the 21 of Fahrenholtz, who's still leading that charge. Now a 4-cart battle for 4th on back.
It's a hornet's nest for 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Now we've got a battle for the 2nd spot. Give it to Pettit down the back straightaway away from Fahrenholtz. Let's see if Pettit can have anything for Demmel out front. The lead 1.37 seconds. We've got one around at Hoffbeck. He'll spin back onto the racing surface, and that will bring out the first caution flag for tonight's Junior Wing Division A main.
Hoffbeck was your B main event winner, able to get the transfer into the A main tonight. Looking pretty solid out here. Our other B main competitor who made it in ended up being the 7D JR of Kinsley Schmutz. Schmutz and Hoffbeck able to make their way in from that B main. We had 2 B mains earlier tonight. One was in the Arbox class that we saw earlier, now one in the Junior Wing class. Those 2 classes have been some of our biggest draws throughout the season here. So nice to see some big classes out here. Single file restart through 3 and 4. Not quite the start we were looking for this time around, so it looks like we're going to give them another lap to go before we get back to some green flag action. Green flag flies. Demmel with a great hop off the line, already setting a gap between him and that battle for second on back. Not a great start for the 3J of Pettit III, though, as he goes around collecting quite a few racers in the tow. I see the 1S of Subert in the mix there, the 7D JR of Kinsley Schmutz also in there. I see a little bit of stuff on the track there. Let's take a look at what all happened here. Coming through 1 and 2. Pettit gets sideways. Collects the rest of the field. We're going to take a chance to clear the track of any carnage out there. As a reminder, all our racers tonight racing for cold, hard cash. There in this replay, we can see Pettit III goes around Subert with nowhere to go. Hard bangs into him. Schmutz, the exact same, tries to go sideways into an avoidance spin. Just a hard hit into the side of the 3J. Man, those were 2 rough hits there for all 3 of our racers. First, it was Pettit and Subert, then it was Pettit and Schmutz. Making sure that Subert and his cart are all good to go before we get back to some green flag action. Looks like Subert is going to get the sad push down to the infield. Here's another angle of that wreck. You can see Subert clips the edge, but it is just enough to cause quite a few issues. And you can even see that piece of debris jumping off Subert's cart. Carts are all lined up and ready to go as they make their way from the back stretch through turns 3 and 4. And just like that, we're back to some green flag action here at Thunder Hills Speedway. Demmel leading them through 1 and 2. Now it's Fahrenholtz and Patterson right behind as we've got Hoffbeck going around in 1 and 2. Gonna sit there in the line of fire. draw the caution. And there, Hoffbeck will refire it up and make his way around. Hoffbeck going to pull into the infield. I believe that was his second caution of the race. So we've got him off the track there, getting the push deeper into the infield. And we'll get them re-racked and restacked here. And now it's going to be Demmel, Fahrenholtz, Patterson, Halopka, Subert, your top 5. Or not Subert, my apologies. I believe that's the 1T of Johnson in 5th. Then we have the 31 of Keller sitting in 6th. The 8 of Byrne. Then it's the 3J of Pettit the 3rd. Single file restart. We started with 12. We're down to 8. As we make our way through 3 and 4. Green flag is going to fly. Demmel with a great hop off the line there. Leading the pack through 1 and 2. Then it's Fahrenholtz, Patterson, Halopka, Johnson.
Five laps in the books, now 7 to go. Demmel continues to lead out front in that 19. Starts to stretch it out a little bit. As we're halfway, 6 down, 6 to go. Best battle on the Speedway right now is for the 4th spot with Johnson and Halopka. They race down the backstretch into turn 3. At the line, the 5th spot is still with Halopka, but Demmel out front starting to run away.
Demmel pulling away from the rest of the field. Already a 1.2 second gap over the 21 of Fahrenholtz, who's now starting to lead a 4-cart battle for 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th. He's got a whole lot of Patterson all over his rear end. Johnson and Halopka right behind. Just about 0.3 seconds gap in between all 4 of those racers. 1 cart length. That battle for 5th and 4th heating up even more. Halopka ducks down low. Johnson gonna spin around. Takes some collateral damage. He's back on the gas. And I believe we may have avoided a caution there. White flag is out. 1 more lap to go for your feature race leader. Coming out of turn 4 one final time. Checkered flag is gonna fly. Jacob Demmel, from lap to lap, gonna take the win here tonight in the junior wing class. He won the heat race, and now he's a feature race winner as well. So we'll take a moment, give Demmel a chance to move into the TNT Construction Victory Lane here at Thunder Hill Speedway. And just like the last time around, we've got a youngster that's $150 richer, just a spry 9 years old, lining his pockets as he pulls into the Thunder Hill Speedway victory lane. Will allow him to remove his steering wheel, take off his helmet, climb out of his cart, and let's hear a huge round of applause for your feature race winner, Jacob Demmel. All our feature race winners tonight, not just winning the $150 or $400, but also winning some nice gold. You can see there Jacob Demmel putting on some nice gold chains, gold bling, a nice solid gold baseball cap, some solid gold shades as well. Look at this youngster looking fly on top of the 19. Once again, let's hear it for Jacob Demmel. As Jacob celebrates his well-deserved time in victory lane. we'll hear your starting lineup for the next main event to hit the track, our Legends Direct Legend Cars. 8 racers will be making their way out for 20 laps on this 6th mile Thunder Hill Speedway. Starting on the inside of row number 1, it's going to be the 49 of Aiden Erickson, side by side with Davey Pinnell racing the 86 machine. Inside row number 2, out of Ramsey, Minnesota, it's the 67 of Josiah Kashadi. Alongside the second Kashadi, Teddy racing the 7K, also out of Ramsey, Minnesota. Inside row number 3, it's Eau Claire, Wisconsin's Derek Crumrye racing the 33 machine. And to his right, the 4S of Chris Sleep out of Osseo, Wisconsin. And in that 4th and final row out of Ridgeland, Wisconsin, it's the 94 of Levi Brewer, alongside Pierre, South Dakota's Mark Brewer, racing the 60 machine. 8 racers, 20 laps. Got another shout out for our previous feature race winner. Congratulations, Jacob from Terra Kipka. Sending some love to our previous feature race winner. Just won $150 as a nice 9-year-old. Heck yeah, Jacob, Keel Rosenthal says online. $150 to our last main event winner. Our next main event winner, though, in the Legends Direct Legends Cars class, getting a solid $400 to win payout, courtesy of Rolling Thunder Legends. They're sponsoring the money tonight for the Legends Direct Legend Cars class. So got to give a big shout out to Rolling Thunder Legends to help up the ante in that class from $150 to win all the way up to $400 to win. You can see we're doing some light track prep here in turns 1 and 2, just making sure we had a few bump and bang situations going on there, making sure everything is smoothed out and ready to go for our Legends Direct Legend Cars. Well, we have a second, though. I want to send some love to a few other of our sponsors, Cedar Lake Speedway and Red Cedar Speedway, bringing some help over here, or bringing some love over here to Thunder Hill Speedway, a nice little speedway trifecta there, along with Olson Funeral Home and Cremation Service, Hollywood Tan, K1 by RB, all along for the ride in 2025. For those of you live streaming tonight's events on MBTVsports.com, while we finish up some track prep here, we're going to go to a quick commercial break, hear a word from a few of our sponsors, and we will be back in just a moment for some Legends Direct Legend Cars racing.
When you've got to ship it from anywhere to anywhere,
QualityFreightRate.com.
the LTL Freight Logistics Specialist for your small business.
QualityFreightRate.com.
We simplify shipping, eliminate those surprise charges, and negotiate the best rates from most LTL qualified carriers.
QualityFreightRate.com.
Special residential and liftgate rates available for automotive and ag implements.
QualityFreightRate.com.
Use the promo code ICE and get 10% off your first shipment. Startup is so easy. Get a quote and ship today. QualityFreightRate.com.
Ready to make us?
And just like that, we are back for some green flag racing action as our Legends Direct Legend Cars have made their way onto the track for 20 laps of racing glory. We already ran through our starting lineup, but as a quick reminder, row 1, we have the 49 of Erickson and the 86 of Pinnell. Row 2 is Kashadi, the 67 and 7K side by side. Row 3, Crum Ryan, the 33, and Sleep in the 4S. And then row 4 is going to be the Brewer row, the 94 of Levi and the 60 of Mark. So we've got a Kashadi row out there, and we've got a Brewer row out there. Some nice family battles going on all throughout the Legends Direct Legend Cars class. And as a reminder, as a big thank you to our sponsor for tonight, in the Legends Direct Legend Cars class, Rolling Thunder Legends. making it so that we can race for $400 to win this evening. So up in the ante quite a bit there, as we've got our cars all lined up and ready to go. We are going to give them the 1 to go sign this time by. Kenneth Johnson says, congratulations, Jacob and Matt. Nice t-shirt. Love to see it. Through 3 and 4, green flag is going to fly, and it's going to be the 86 of Pinnell leading the charge into 1 and 2. The 49 of Erickson going to drop back to second as we've got all sorts of bumping and banging going on in 1 and 2. Looks like the 33 of Crumry moves down to the infield, gets caught up in a little bit of the action over there. Crumry is back around. Let's take a quick look at what happened there. Into turn 1 and 2. Erickson slightly off the pace. 67 of Kashadi had nowhere to go, along with the 33 of Crumry. Everyone's bumping and banging. Crumry goes around. Kashadi has to duck down to the infield. And it's the 33 of Crumry stuck on the track there. Coming out of turn 4, green flag is flying. Pinnell with another great hop off the line there. Going to lead the charge through 1 and 2. We're able to get by clean this time around. Coming out of turn number 4 onto the front straightaway. First official lap in the books.
Kashadi
As
working
the
to the outside
7K of
middle. Give the top spot to Teddy Kashadi out of turn number 4. He'll lead lap number 2. And then it's Pinnell, Erickson, and Sleep. Chris Sleep trying to make the extreme high line work in that number 4S. He's battled back there in the 4th spot, and now he's got company between the 67 of Josiah Kashadi. Teddy out front in that 7K. He will lead lap number 4.
Kashadi, Pinnell, Erickson, Sleep, Kashadi, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 as it stands. But the 67 of Josiah Kashadi's got company. A whole group right behind him. 4S of Chris Sleep just ahead of him, the 33 of Crumry, and I believe that's the 94 of Brewer behind. 4-racer battle at the rear of the field. Out front, it's still the 7K, though, of Teddy Kashadi leading the charge. Pinnell right behind him in second, holding on just about a 3-car length gap between our top 2 racers. A little bit of space before we get back to the 49 of Erickson. Then it's that Kashadi, Crumry, Brewer, Sleep battle for 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th.
Teddy Kashadi still out front in that 7K. Davey Pinnell not letting him get far. Just under 0.6 of a second was the last time by. This time around, it's 5 3/4 of a second. Good battle still continues for 5th, 6th, and 7th. This time by 10 down, 10 to go for Teddy Kashadi.
Teddy Kashadi and Pinnell out front. A little gap back to Erickson. And we still got that battle raging on for 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th. The 67 of Josiah Kashadi able to pull away slightly. Now he's making this a battle for 3rd between the 49 of Erickson and himself. Kashadi looks down low, trying to see where Erickson's line is. He still has 8 laps left to make a move here. Kashadi looking a little high, looking a little low, seeing all of his options there. Kashadi ducks down low, saw the time he needed. Erickson battles back on the outside. Still slight advantage to Erickson that time around, but Kashadi's holding on to that low line, trying to make a move there when possible. Coming out of turn number 4, now the battle is heating up at the front of the field. Teddy Kashadi still holds on to the lead. Pinnell's dropped it down to a 0.2 second gap. They're bumping and banging slightly. Coming out of turn 4 onto the front straightaway, it's still Teddy Kashadi out front.
Pinnell looking for any sort of mistake to get by the 7K. Kashadi steady through the middle part of the speedway around the Thunder Hill Speedway. That time by, there was 4 to go. This time around, there'll be 3 laps remaining as the battle for the lead, as well as the battle for third and fourth, stay hot around the Thunderhill Speedway. Down the backstretch they go. Right through the middle goes Teddy Casciati. 2 laps remaining for the 7K.
That battle still raging on at every corner of the track. We've got what seems to be at least a 2 or 3 racer battle. We got coming up to the white flag, 1 more lap to go at that battle for the lead as Crumrye goes around in turn number 1, and that is going to end up drawing the caution. Boy, oh boy, if this wasn't already an interesting race to begin with, it looks like it's going to end with heck of a banger. Let's see what happened there. Coming through 1 and 2, the 33 of Crumrye, right where he went around last time. Gets a little slick there on the exit of 2, does a full 180. Just had no traction. I saw they were doing some track work down there right before this feature race. Crumrye not having the line he was hoping for. Is still sitting at a stall there. Looks like he might need a little push start there to get refired. One of our track workers up there with the 4-wheeler. Checking in on the racer, making sure everything is good there. Looks like we have it refired partially. Thought I saw movement there. Getting a little assistance nudge there as we get everyone re-lined up in their correct starting order. And now, not only beforehand did we have a nice 2-racer battle for the lead, but we had a solid 3-racer battle for third, fourth, and fifth. Another 3-racer battle for sixth, seventh, and eighth, all throughout the field. Everyone was looking to get some action in, and now that we've tightened it up, this might end up just being an all-out battle for every position on the track. There, we've got
Teddy
a push
Casciati
going for Crumrye.
through the middle part of the speedway all the way around. As Teddy has now led, let's see, he has led 18 of the 19 laps. We'll go back 1, so he's led 17 of the 18 laps so far in the feature. Davey Pinnell, who runs in second, has led 1 lap. It'll be a green-white checkered finish. Teddy Casciati brings us to that green flag.
Pinnell with a wild start there to start things off. The 7K of Teddy Casciati able to battle back with ease. It's side by side through 3 and 4. White flag is out. 1 more lap to go for our racers as Pinnell now holds on to that sole lead. 3-wide battle for second, third, and fourth. The 67 of Casciati looking down to the inside. Drag race to the line. Pinnell by a hair gonna take the win there. The 67 of Josiah Casciati able to hold on for second. Teddy Casciati gonna have to settle for a devastating third place after leading 17 of those 20 laps there. Erickson and Brewer are going to round out your top 5, but your big money winner making his way up to the TNT Construction Thunderhill Speedway victory lane. Let's give it up for your feature race winner, the 86th machine, climbing out of his car. $400 richer thanks to Rolling Thunder Legends. Let's give it up for your feature race winner, the 86 machine of Davey Pinnell. There we go. Let's give him some love. He's putting that nice gold hat on, the dollar bill chains, those gold chains, some nice solid gold sunglasses as well. Look at this guy. He is all ready to go. $400 richer. Congratulations to the 86 of Davey Pinnell, taking the feature race win today here in the Legends Direct Legend Cars class. And one last final shout out to Rolling Thunder Legends, helping bring that pot up to $400 to win. Want to give them some love. Thank them for coming along for the ride tonight. And now as Pinnell enjoys his time in victory lane, we will move on to your starting lineup for our next race, the intermediate wing class. Colin, I'll let you take things from here.
Inside of row number 1 from Thorpe, Wisconsin, that's the 17 of Callan Haas. And to the outside from Trempealeau, Wisconsin, it's Alan Byrne in the 8X. Inside of row number 2 from Winona, Minnesota, that's JP3, Johnny Pettit III in the 3J. And starting fourth from Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin, that's the 1S of Dylan Subert. Starting in fifth from Stanley, Wisconsin, driving cart number 44, it's Reese Smith, and to the outside, Xander Glumsky in the 27 from Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Final row to the inside, Kennedy Klukas in that number 8 from Colfax, Wisconsin, and to the outside, Audrey Tresseth in the 2A from Birchwood. 8 carts will go 12 laps around for the intermediate wing, a main event. As we get set to go out of turn number 4, we're green.
It's going to be the 17 of Colin Haas leading the charge through 1 and 2. The 8X of Alan Byrne hot on his tail. The 3J of Pettit looks down to the inside trying to make a move for second, but he's got company. Subert to his inside. Subert now up to that third podium spot. Pettit going to try to battle back. Nothing going there. A side-by-side battle between Smith and the 27 of Glumsky right behind. We've got battles raging throughout the entire field here. All 8 of our racers currently in a side-by-side or near side-by-side battle. Take a look at that battle raging on for 5th and 6th. Smith to the inside as Pettit loops it around. He's going to get back on the throttle there. Make it so that we don't get to a caution, and I spoke too soon. It is going to end up drawing the caution, so we will re-rack and restack them here after an exciting first 2 laps of our intermediate wing feature.
Two laps in, everybody now in their proper starting spot. The field starts to bunch up down the back straightaway. All indications that we will go green flag out of turn number 4. Nope, the yellow lights will stay on. We'll go one more lap around before we'll take the green. It's Haas, Byrne, Subert, Glumsky, Smith, Klukas, Tresseth, and then it is Pettit. We'll go Delaware double file this time, as Haas will lead us into turn number 3 and out of turn number 4 to the green flag.
Haas out front all alone. Byrne, Subert right behind him. Smith getting up in the mix as well there, trying to make it a 4-cart battle for the lead. Just 1 second separating as one of our carts goes around. Byrne holding on to second, loops it, coming out of 2. He's back on. Pettit having to go into an avoidance spin. As now we'll re-rack them for our next restart of the evening. As they reline up, it'll be Haas out front all alone. In our first full row of this Delaware double file restart, it'll be the 1S of Subert and the 44 of Smith right behind. Then we'll move on to the 27 of Glumsky on the inside of that third row. Taking a look at what happened here through 1 and 2. Halfway through 1, Byrne just loses all traction there, gets completely sideways. Subert, Glumsky, Smith able to avoid on the outside. Suber with some pretty fast reflexes there. He'd been ducking down to battle on the inside, quick able to make that right-hand turn. Pettit, unfortunately, just had nowhere to go. He goes into an avoidance spin there. But we've got them all tightened up and back in their correct restarting order. Through turns 3 and 4, green flag is going to fly as Glumski's around. Before we even exit turn 4, he pulls down to the infield. Looks like we will avoid a caution. So Haas out front all alone. Already with a half-second gap over that battle for second, third, and fourth. As now Pettit's around, bumping and banging on his way. He's back under power. So we still remain green out front all alone. It's the 17 of Colin Haas with now a full second gap over the 1S of Subert. Byrne and Smith, or Pettit, going around again. And this time we will draw a caution. Rough race here. As we've been having quite a few spin outs. We've been seeing some track work. We've had some rain over the past few days, so we do have a little bit of a slick track out there. Our racers doing all they can to make sure that they are hitting the track as best as possible. Out front, restart. It's the 17 of Haas. 1S of Subert and the 44 of Smith will make up that first full row in the Delaware double file restart. Then it's going to be the 8 of Cluckus and the 8X of Byrne in that second row. Then we have the 27 of Glumski. And it'll be the 2A of Traceth rounding out our now 7-cart field. Glumski going to move up ahead of Cluckus. Well, we have a moment here. Want to give a big shout out. We have a nice, huge crowd here at Thunder Hill Speedway tonight. Lots of awesome race fans making the trek out here for some beautiful Wednesday night racing. We have the USA Nationals going on at Cedar Lake Speedway, and we're happy to have everyone here. Green flag is out. Haas going to lead the charge into 1 and 2 again. Subert holding on to second solely. 44 of Smith and the 8X of Byrne right behind, battling it out for third and fourth. Byrne able to slide up into the third place spot. Smith battling back down on the inside, though, as we've now got a 3-wide battle through 1 and 2. Bumping and banging. Cluckus making his way up to third now. Byrne back to fourth. Smith back to fifth. Wow, that was a great move by Cluckus there. Now up to third. Byrne battling back to the inside. Byrne saying, I'm not giving up this podium spot that easily. Now it's an 8X race for that third and fourth spot. Cluckus on the inside. Byrne on the outside, battling it, bumping and banging, and we're going around. Smith into an avoidance spin. Cluckus up on his side. It's absolute chaos in turn 2. Track workers quick to the scene, making sure everyone is okay. Cluckus up on all fours once again. We're going to make sure our racer is okay, but boy, oh boy, was that an absolutely wild ride that we just watched there. Let's take a look at what all happened onto the front straightaway. It's Byrne on the outside, Cluckus on the inside. Cluckus looks for that deep move, not able to get the pivot he needs. They go sideways. Smith goes into avoidance spin, and Cluckus hits the track just at the perfectly wrong angle. Ends up moving up on his side. Glumski into his side with nowhere else to go. Traceth on the outside as well. Let's take another quick look at this. Try to examine it even a little bit closer. So once again, Cluckus and Byrne, the dual 8s, go into 1 and 2. Cluckus not able to pivot as much as needed. Byrne pivoting pretty well. And Cluckus does a full 360, gets up on his side after grabbing traction once again. So Cluck is going to get the push down to the infield. But boy,
And as Zach was saying,
that was wild.
As Zach was saying earlier this evening, one of our great sponsors at the Cedar Lake Speedway does have the 38th annual USA Nationals going on. Incredible 3-day event over there in New Richmond featuring the Real American Beer World of Outlaws Late Model Series. So if you are planning to attend any races this weekend, I would highly recommend the Cedar Lake Speedway. I know the fair is going on over there in Menomonie right now, but I do encourage everyone to make it out to Cedar Lake Speedway for the 38th annual USA Nationals.
All lined up and ready to go. Coming out of 4. Looks like we're going to give them another lap here just to make sure everyone is all situated. Cluck is back out on the track as well. Good to see that after a tough tumble there. So our lineup's looking like Haas, Subert, Byrne. Then it'll be Smith, Glumsky, Traceth, and Cluckus. Green flag flies. Haas leading the pace on the front straightaway. Byrne holding on to that second place spot. Subert getting into his side and a little scrapey going on there. Glumsky trying to get into the mix as well, along with Smith. It's a 5-cart battle there at the front of the field. All pretty close quarters action. Those 2nd, 3rd, 4th, and 5th place racers all side by side as Cluckus goes around in 2. He's able to get it back under power with 2 laps left to go.
Into turn number 3, and the white flag flies out of turn number 4. Callan Haas has led the whole way. Let's see if he can lead one more lap. Down the backstretch cleanly in that number 17. He'll point it down the front straightaway. Callan Haas wins tonight's intermediate wing A main. Alan Byrne in the 2nd spot. Xander Glumsky 3rd. Dylan Subert 4th. Reith Smith 5th. Audrey Traseth in 6th. And Kennedy Klukas rounding out the finishing order in 7th.
As Haas makes his way into the TNT Construction victory lane here at Thunder Hill Speedway, his pockets are going to be lined with 150 extra bucks from what they came into today. We'll give him a chance to hop out of his cart, take his helmet off, and swap that helmet off for some solid gold bling. We've got, as with all of our other feature race winners tonight, a nice golden hat to wear, some golden shades, and some golden chains to wear around that neck, along with the 150 smackaroonies out of his cart. The golden gear is on. Give it up for your feature race winner, the 17 of Colin Haas. As Haas celebrates his time in victory lane, we'll now take a moment to give you your starting lineup for your Sportsman class, which will be up next. 7 racers about to hit the track for 12 laps of side-by-side swipping and swapping action. And starting off on the inside of row number 1, after a heat race win out of Eau Claire, Wisconsin, it's the 74 of Jake Johnson, side by side with the 555 of Hudson, Wisconsin's Matt Velchek. Inside row number 2, Steven Savalls out of Race Lake, Wisconsin, piloting the 191, alongside the 55 of Rock Falls, Wisconsin's Trayton Velchek. Inside row number 3, out of Menomonie, Wisconsin, it's the 100 of Drew Alton, alongside Baldwin, Wisconsin's Dylan Alton in the 166, and rounding out your 4-row 7-cart field out of Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin, it's going to be the 76 machine of Josh Fuster. We've got some great racing action here tonight. We got some double Velcheks hitting the track as well. Matt and Trayton out there, double Altons, Dylan and Drew. As we bring the class out onto the track here. Looks like they're getting waved in as we speak. Another quick reminder here. Shout out to a few of our sponsors for the season. Ace, The Helpful Place, Fleet Farm, and Snap-On with Aaron Wold, giving them a big shout out. Along with Irvington Garage Towing, Southside Body and Bike, Kaler's Diesel Repair, TMS Tire and Auto, Quality Auto Body Inc., Diesel Service of Eau Claire, A&M Fiberglass Manufacturing, HT Automotive, and then Chevrolet Keys, Goodrich Trailer Sales, Dick's RV, AirTech Sports, along for the ride here for the 2025 QualityFreightRate.com Storm Series here at Thunder Hill Speedway in Menomonie, Wisconsin. Johnson Velchek, Savalls Velchek, Alton Fuster. Looks like we have 6 of our planned 7 carts out there. Does seem as though it's the 76 of Fuster that we are currently missing, if I'm counting all those carts correctly. Six carts tightly packed through 3 and 4. We're going to give them another lap here to get all lined up. Moving through 3 and 4. Tight, close quarters. Green flag flies, and it's Johnson and Matt Velchek leading the pack into 1 and 2. Velchek goes way high, which gives Savalls the chance to move up. 3 wide on the back straightaway. It's double Velcheks in 2nd and 3rd. Savalls back to 4th, but out front all alone, just like we saw in the heat race. It's the 74 of Jake Johnson leading the charge ahead of Matt and Trayton Velchek. Savalls, and then I believe that is the 100 of Drew Alton rounding out your top 5. Dylan Alton right behind in 6th.
Johnson's got the lead. They ripped up the center part of the speedway, so there's no groove through the middle. It's either the bottom or the top. It's Velchek and Velchek. Right now it's Matt leading Trayton and the Steve Savalls. Good battle for the 2nd spot. Right now Matt's got it, but Jake Johnson out front in 74 with 4 laps down.
Johnson pulling away from the rest of the field. We've got a nice Velchek 2-3 just behind, splitting the difference from that track groove right there. We have a nice little side-by-side battle for 4th and 5th behind that as well, as now the 100 of Drew Alton moves up to 4th. Savalls back to 5th. Out front all alone, though, it's still the 74 of Jake Johnson putting on an absolute show here tonight. Velchek's right behind, still battling back and forth for 2nd and 3rd. Nice little family battle for those final 2 steps on the podium as we're halfway through this feature race.
Johnson's lead just over 3/4 of a second. This time by, there will be 4 laps to go. Still a really good battle for that 2nd spot with the Velcheks. Matt still has it. Trayton wants it. Drew Alton now to 4th. Savalls in 5th. Dylan Alton in that 6th spot. This time around 3 laps to go for Jake Johnson.
And he is growing that separation. Now a full 2nd gap in between Johnson and that Velchek battle for 2nd and 3rd right behind him. And that gap between the Velcheks are getting even smaller. Now it's a 0.1 second gap as we've been seeing some side-by-side action most of the race here. White flag is out. 1 more lap to go for our racers. Johnson is checked out front. As long as nothing happens there, he's holding on to the the win. The battle we're watching is for second and third as now Alton gets into the mix. Jake Johnson going to take the win in the 74. Who's got second? It's a Velchek for sure. It looks like it's the 555 of Matt Velchek taking second place. The 55 of Trayton Velchek going to settle for third. 100 of Alton just 0.4 seconds behind in fourth. Saval's going to round out your top five with the 166 of Dylan Alton, rounding out your field from an exciting Sportsman race. Jake Johnson going to pull into the TNT Construction victory lane here at Thunder Hill Speedway, climb out of his cart, take his helmet off, replace it with a gold hat, gold shades, and gold chains. And in the meantime, let's hear it for your Sportsman feature race winner, the 74 machine of Jake Johnson. Jake gonna celebrate his time in the Thunder Hill Speedway victory lane and that $150 inside his pocket. As we move on to our 125 250 wing feature lineup, Colin, I'll let you take it away.
Starting on the inside of row number 1 from Rice Lake, Wisconsin, that's the 22 of Davin Hawk, and to the outside from New Richmond in the number 30, that's Tyler Alton. Starting third from Cadet, Wisconsin, Jackson Helland, driving the 2.0, and to the outside from Wheeler, that's the number 99 of Bentley Halapka. Starting fifth from Elk Mound, Wisconsin, Brody Conkey in the number 8, and starting on the outside of row number 3, that's the UFO 2 from Madison, Wisconsin, that's Holden Harder. Inside of row number 4 from Chippewa Falls, it's Landon Supri in the 99 Junior, and to the outside, driving the 13E from Bruce, Wisconsin, it's Nick Moulter. And your final row from Downing, Wisconsin in the 66B, it's Blake DeSmith. And your final starter in the 10th spot from right down the road in Menomonie, that's the 29 of Caleb Kropp. 10 cars going 12 laps for tonight's 125 250 wing A main event.
We'll give our racers a chance to warm up their tires and get in their correct starting lineup. And in the meantime, I want to give another shout out to a few more of our sponsors for the season, DEC and Synergy Cooperative. Thanking them for being along for the ride. Another quick reminder of what our schedule is going to look like over the next couple of weeks. We won't be here next week, but we will be back in 2 weeks for round number 5 of the QualityFreightRate.com Storm Series here at Thunder Hill Speedway. Round number 5 going to be another regular points night, but we do have specials throughout the rest of the season. Next race's schedule in 2 weeks is going to be the Alumni Night. 2 weeks after that, August 27th, we'll be back for round number 6, our double points night, before we move into our dual race weekends here. Friday and Saturday, September 5th and 6th, the Wisconsin Dirt Track State Championship. Friday and Saturday, the 26th and 27th of September, back for the Harvest Hustle, and then we will be rounding out our season with the Bone Shaker Showdown. Saturday, October 11th, 2025. Specials throughout the rest of the season, and we're excited to see you all back here in 2 weeks. Back onto the track, though, 125 250 wing class, making their way into turn 3 and 4. All tight-knit, side-by-side, green flag flies, and it's going to be Hawk and Alton leading the charge.
Alton gets the jump down the back straightaway, and through 3 and 4, give the top spot to Tyler Alton. Davin Hawk in that second spot with Helland, Halapka, and Conkey in the top 5. Now here comes the UFO 2 of Harder to the inside for the 5th spot. But out front, it's Alton in 30.
Alton and Hawk still battling 1 and 2. Then we've got a decent gap back to our third place racer, the 2.0 of Helen. Another decent gap back to that racer battle between the 99 of Halapka, 8 of Conky, and the UFO 2 of Harder. Halapka off the pace there as we have one racer going around. Looks like that is the 99 machine, or the 99 JR of Suprai, I believe that is. So that is going to draw the caution. We will re-rack and restack them here. 2 laps into our 12-lap A main for the 125-250 wing class. And we'll be going with a Delaware double file restart this time around. It'll be the 30 of Tyler Alton, leading the charge all alone there in the front row. And in that side-by-side second row, it'll end up being the 22 of Hawk and the 2.0 of Helen for a triple 2 second row. A 5-part 2 second row. Second row of 2-2-2. Green flag is out. My apologies, green flag is not out. We'll reline up here, make sure everyone's good to go. Alton, Hawk, Helen, Halapka, Harder, your top 5 as it currently stands. Then we have the 8 of Conky and the 13E of Moulter. Tightening it up through 3 and 4. And we're going to give them another lap here. There, we'll tighten it up through 3 and 4. Green flag flies.
Alton drives it back underneath, and the yellow comes out again for the 99 Junior of Supri. That'll be yellow flag number 2. We'll see how this is scored, if it will be yellow flag number 2 on the 99. And it will be the second caution flag. So that will end the night for Landon Supri in the 99 Junior. We'll give the field the sign next time around out of turn number 4. They'll see the green flag.
Alton, Hawk, Helen, Halapka, Harder, still your top 5. We tighten it up on the back stretch. Make our way through turns 3 and 4. Green flag flies, and we are racing. Hawk looking down low, trying to get up beside Alton, but Alton's not going to have it. Alton's out front, pulling away all by himself. Now it's a battle for third on back there. Might be having a 3-cart battle for second, third, and fourth there. Hawk even pulling away slightly. Helen right behind in third.
Lead duo starts to stretch out a little bit. That battle on the Speedway is for the 5th and 6th spot with Conky and Halapka. We've now got, this time around, 6 laps down, 6 laps to go. The lead was just under 4 tenths. Now it's 2.5 tenths of a second for Tyler Alton in 30. The lead duo starting to get closer together here with 5 to go.
That battle between Alton and Hawk, slowly but surely pulling away from that battle between Helen and Harder. The 2 and the UFO 2 duking it out for that final podium position. Out front, though, Alton still holding on and slowly but surely pulling away from the 22 of Hawk. There's a 0.2 second gap, a 0.3 second gap, now a 0.4 second gap as Hawk is holding on to him. Getting up side by side, trying to make some moves there, coming out onto the front straightaway. Nothing going. 2 laps left to go.
A slight slip up out of the exit of turn number 2. Now here comes Hawk with a slide job. He'll take the spot. White flag, 1 to go. Alton looks to the inside. They'll race down the back straightaway for the final time. Hawk down to the bottom. Alton on the top. Not going to have anything for him. Davin Hawk wins off the white flag. Second will go to Tyler Alton. Jackson Helland in the 3rd spot. Holden Carter in 4th. Brody Conkey 5th. Bentley Halopta 6th. Nick Moulter 7th. Caleb Prop in the 8th spot. He only needed 2 laps. But Davin Hawk will pick up the win in tonight's 125-250 wing division.
We'll give him a second to pull himself out from behind the wheel of his cart. Climb into the TNT Construction Thunderhill Speedway victory lane. He'll remove his helmet, and as with the other winners tonight, replace it with some gold accessories. We've got a gold hat for all our winners, some golden shades, some golden chains, replacing that helmet. And once again, let's hear it for your 125-250 main event winner, the 22 machine of Davin Hawk. We'll let Davin celebrate his win there in victory lane while we give you our starting lineup for our final feature race of the evening, our K&K Racing Micro Sprints, which tonight, similar to how we had in the Legends Direct Car class, additional sponsor being thrown in there, K&K Racing adding to the pot this evening to make it $400 to win in this K&K Racing Micro Sprint class. And your lineup is going to look just like this on the inside of row number 1. Fresh off a heat race win from the back of the field, it's the 88 of Caleb Moen racing out of Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Side by side with heat race 1 winner, the 9F of Owatonna, Minnesota's Ryan Franzen. Inside row number 2 out of River Falls, Wisconsin, it's the C71 of Carter Jensrud. And to his right, the 19L of Mora, Minnesota's Landry Singleton. Inside row number 3, the 10 from St. Cloud, Minnesota, Owen Henricks. Side by side with Heat Race 2 winner, Heat Race 3 winner, the 99 of Mason Subert from Welch, Minnesota. Row number 4 sees Welcome, North Carolina's 8W of Jaden Wagner, side by side with the 37 of Landon Davis out of New Richmond, Wisconsin. Row 5 is Clint Nelson racing the 2X out of Rock Valley, Iowa, and Brody Urbanski racing the 22 from Lakeland, Minnesota. Inside row number 6, racing the 28 machine out of Trempealeau, Wisconsin, it's Mason Hale. And to his right, Jeff Friedrich from Potosi, Wisconsin, racing the 27C. Inside row number 7, Marshall Willing out of Becker, Minnesota, racing the 128. And the 3J of Brandon Friedrich from Waupun, Wisconsin, racing the 3J machine. Inside row number 8, the 26P of Jackson Peters and the 28X of Maddie Hale. Inside row number 9, Alyssa Eady piloting the 100 machine out of Otter Creek, Wisconsin. And the 23 of Kelly Turner. Inside row number 10, the 628 of Brian Link side by side with Luke Lane racing the 9 machine. And all alone in that 11th and final row, it's going to be the 46G of Jackson Jiraji. 21 racers about to hit the track for 20 laps, hoping to win $400 of cold, hard cash. That's right, folks. This is our final feature race of the evening for our mid-season money Wednesday night special. $400 to win in the K&K Racing Micro Sprint class. We've been talking about it all night, but we want to give another quick reminder. We will not be here next week, but make sure you stop on out 2 weeks from today. Wednesday, August 13th, we will be back for our next points paying race of the evening, round number 5, Alumni Night. Starting things off like normal, first green flag at 7, national anthem at 6:45, hot laps starting at 6. We're happy to have you all come out and join the grandstands with everyone. We had a beautiful turnout tonight. We're hoping to have an even better turnout 2 weeks from now. Thank you to everyone who was able to make their way out into the grandstands this evening. And another quick reminder, if you're not able to make it out to our race in 2 weeks from now, just a reminder, we do live stream all of our racing action here at Thunder Hill Speedway on MBTVsports.com. We've gotten a few shout outs so far today. We had one from Iowa, we've had one from Ohio. All across the country, you are able to watch some live racing action here at Thunder Hill Speedway, thanks to some beautiful sponsors that we have. Got to give a shout out to one of our newer sponsors that we brought on recently, Schaefer's Specialized Lubricants. Make sure to hit up William Denzer at 651-253-0999 for any of your special lubricants needs. And again, a huge shout out to tonight's premier sponsor, that is TNT Construction. Tim Tillison, a longtime friend and supporter of Thunder Hills, is the owner of TNT Construction. We're happy to have him along for the ride, not only for tonight's Wednesday night special mid-season money race, but also for the entire 2025 season. We're going to finish up some track prep here. For those of you live streaming tonight on MBTVsports.com, we're going to take a quick intermission here before we get back to some green flag action in just a few moments.
Yeah, Butler-Built has been a supporter of mine for a long time. I've always run Butler-Built seats ever I got into 410 sprint car racing, and I feel like they have the nicest aluminum seats out there. The craftsmanship, the welding on it is top-notch, and now they're pouring my inserts and have the gravel cut seat, and gives you a lot of clearance for your hybrid or your Hans, and I feel like there's no better seat out there. Yeah, I mean, a little bit of feedback, right? These guys do it every day, so as me as a sprint car driver specifically, every form of dirt racing, the seats are built different, and guys like us, drivers are wearing holes in their hybrids because they're rubbing on the seats, and felt like there was a need for a little bit of a new design and a new generation of the sprint car advantage seats. So yeah, it's been a fun ride, and hope to continue the relationship for a long time.
When you push your engine to the limit, on the track, the farm, or the highway, only one name delivers unmatched protection. Schaefer's Specialized Lubricants. With over 180 years of proven performance, professionals don't guess. They trust Schaefer's. And in our region, there's one guy who makes it happen. William Denzer. Racers, farmers, fleets. They all call William because he's reliable, knowledgeable, and gets results. So support the brands and people who support racing. Call William today, 651-253-0999, or email denzer.schaefer.sales@gmail.com. Schaefer's, trusted since 1839. Power in every drop.
Painful steps shouldn't be part of your daily routine. At Foot and Ankle Clinics, PA, we specialize in diagnosing and treating a wide range of foot and ankle conditions, from heel pain and bunions to diabetic foot care and sports injuries. Our board-certified podiatrists, Dr. Jeff Pellersells and Dr. Russell John Hill, bring decades of experience and a compassionate approach to every patient. At our clinic, we are dedicated to serving the community with the highest level of care. Your well-being is our top priority. Serving the communities of Woodbury, West St. Paul, and Edina, we're committed to providing personalized care tailored to your needs. Don't let foot or ankle pain hold you back. Visit footandankleclinics.com to schedule your appointment today.
Kevco has been an industry leader in high-performance oil pans and components for over 35 years. Made in Fairmont, Minnesota, Kevco prides itself on being American-made. Kevco has expanded our product line way beyond just oil pans to valve covers, breather systems, jack stands, boilers, wheel sockets, and much, much more. Check out KevcoRacing.com to see everything we have to offer, including our line of street, off-road, and performance oil pans and accessories. Or call 800-770-3557 to talk with our friendly customer service today.
When you've got to ship it from anywhere to anywhere,
QualityFreightRate.com.
the LTL Freight Logistics Specialist for your small business.
QualityFreightRate.com.
We simplify shipping, eliminate those surprise charges, and negotiate the best rates from most LTL qualified carriers.
QualityFreightRate.com.
Special residential and liftgate rates available for automotive and ag implements.
QualityFreightRate.com.
Use the promo code ICE and get 10% off your first shipment. Startup is so easy. Get a quote and ship today. QualityFreightRate.com.
Ready to make a splash this summer? Grab your friends and head to River's Edge on the scenic Apple River. Whether you're looking to float the day away, camp under the stars, or catch live music and weekend events, River's Edge has everything you need for an unforgettable time. Book your tube, campsite, or party package now. River's Edge on the Apple River. Your summer starts here.
Welcome back, race fans. We're just about ready to go for our final feature race of the evening for the 2025 Wednesday night special mid-season money shootout here at Thunder Hill Speedway in good old Menomonie, Wisconsin. We have gone through a handful of races so far this evening, and here it is all on the line for our final feature race of the night. $400 to win up for grabs in the K&K Racing Micro Sprints class. And we've got 21 racers duking it out, trying to take that W. Landry and Caleb, Uncle G is cheering for you guys. Comes from Guillermo Gonzalez Ponce out of Facebook. And Donnie Turner saying, let's go Landry and Caleb on Facebook as well. We've got one race left. Feel free to send in all your shout-outs to those of you live streaming on MBTVsports.com or through our Facebook, YouTube, or Twitter pages. Feel free to send some love, whether it's to drivers that are on the track, have already been on the track. Don Boji Hofteig says, glad to see Franzen back in a micro. We're glad to see it as well, and it seems as though he's glad to see it. He's starting on the outside of row number 1 tonight. Lynn Reed saying shout out to 3J Brandon Frederick. Frederick having a good night as well. Starting middle of the pack. Excited to see him try to battle it up toward the front for some cold, hard cash. Brought to you by K&K Racing. Bringing that pot up to $400 to win. Emily Comfuse says go Jackson Peters. The 26P starting on the inside of row number 8. Gonna have some fun racing ahead of him as well. We are just about ready to bring you some racing action. Emily Campus says your England friends are watching. Excited to have people from all over joining us on live MBTVsports.com for tonight's Thunder Hill Speedway racing action, where we are live streaming all of the races here at Thunder Hill Speedway each and every week. We've been doing it all season so far. We're excited to do it the rest of the year as well. Shea Berg says, let's get it, kids. Woohoo, Landry and Caleb. Excited to see how they all turn things out here during this final feature race of the evening. I see everyone pulling on to the infield right there. Good old John Deere making his way off the track. And you know what that means, boys and girls. We are ready to get to some K&K Racing micro sprint action. Soren Sterup says, shout out to 46G Jackson Jiragi. Jackson going to have a solid race ahead of him. Hoffbeck Motorsports saying, let's go Mason Hale. Mason Hale starting on the inside of row number 6 today. And there we have it. The first few of our K&K Racing micro sprints making their way out onto the track. Freshly farmed, groomed, all ready for them to go. To bring you all some amazing racing action for, what I believe to be one of our most fun races of the day. Obviously, all of our classes put out some great competition, but the K&K Racing micro sprints are just something else to watch. Wouldn't you agree, Colin?
This is one of my favorite classes around the Thunder Hill Speedway. I mean, I won't mince words. These cars remind me a lot of these cars on this track remind me a lot of my home track of the Houston Speedway. Watching 410 wing sprint cars, the K&K micro sprints put on an incredible show around the Thunder Hill Speedway.
I'm excited. I believe, now correct me if I'm wrong, we have 21 racers out there tonight. I believe this might be the most micro sprints we've had for a race here this year at one time. We may have had a few other races that are close or have slightly beat this one out, but this is going to be a stacked race. And so I am really excited to see how the next 20 laps go with 21 racers battling it out side by side for 400 big ones. Give them a few laps here just to slowly work in the track a little bit more. We've taken that brief intermission there to farm the track a little bit, just try to get it as good as possible for these K&K Racing micro sprint cars. Just going to work it in slightly more before we get everyone all lined up and ready to go for 20 laps of glorious racing action.
We'll allow the field to buzz around the speedway, just making sure that everything is in proper racing condition around the track. And now we'll get everybody lined up for tonight's main event, your finale here for the special money event this season. $400 to the winner, as Zach said. Everybody getting in the proper starting spot. I believe we'll give him one more time around before we'll see the green flag as the field gets set for 20 laps around for tonight's K&K Micro Sprint A-Main.
Moen Franzen, Jensrud Singleton, Henrik Subert, Wagner Davis, Nelson Urbanski, Hale Friedrich, Willing Friedrich, Peters Hale, Edie Turner, Link Lane, Jiragi. Going to be your 21 racers lining up here for your final feature race of the evening. Gonna make our way through 3 and 4, and we're not quite as compact as we're hoping for, so we're gonna give them another lap here to get fully lined up and ready to go. There we go. That's much more like it. On to the back straightaway. Through 3 and 4, green flag is gonna fly, and it's gonna be Moen setting the pace into 1 and 2. Don't count out the 9F of Franzen though on the outside. Jensrud down to the inside. It's already a 3-rider battle for the lead.
Give the top spot to Moen on lap number 1. He'll slide all the way to the top side. Here comes Jensrud on the bottom. Carter Jensrud and Caleb Moen. Moen continues to lead by just 88 100ths of a second.
It's a tight battle up front, side by side. Moen and Jensrud. Moen with the slight advantage there this time around. Right behind them, Franzen in the 9F trying to get into the mix as well, along with the 10 of Henricks and the 19L of Singleton. All of our racers in close quarters, side-by-side action throughout. Franzen now taking the outside line around the C71 of Jensrud. Jensrud still with the slight advantage, but Franzen drawing in nearer and nearer, lap by lap.
Franzen up to the second spot, the top side of the Thunderhill Speedway, starting to work in. Caleb Moen starts to feel it. He'll go to the cushion in 1 and 2. Franzen will go right through the middle. He'll take the top spot. This time around, a slide job from the 88 of Moen at the line. They're too close to call contact. And the 9F will go around, and we'll see the yellow flag come out. Yellow, yellow, yellow.
Amazing hold on there for the 9F of Franzen. That could have gone pretty horribly wrong. Let's take a quick look at what happened here. Coming out onto the front straightaway, side by side with Moen. Looks like there's some touch in there, bumping and banging. Franzen doing a full 720 all the way around the front straightaway there. Let's take another quick look at this, see exactly where it all went wrong. Onto the front straightaway there. Coming out of turn number 4, we have some 3-wide action there. Moen has nowhere to go on the outside, has to duck down low a little bit. Right in front of the flag stand, they touch, they bump, they bang. Franzen with a 360, still spinning there. Another 360 in the books as well. Able to hold on to it. Thankfully, with the track the way that it is tonight, he was able to skim across the top while spinning there. Definitely could have gone poorly, but happy to see how it ended up being. Now it's going to end up being the 88 of Moen starting out front all by himself in this Delaware double file restart. That'll be the 10 of Henricks and the C71 of Jensrud side by side in that first full second row. Then we have the 8W of Wagner right behind them on the inside of row number 3. Alongside, I believe that's the 128 of Willing.
And it looks like we need one car to move back, and I believe it is the 99 of Mason Subert needs to go to the inside of the third full row as Mason is running in that 7th spot. Here we might have it now. Yellow lights are still on.
We're going to give them a few more laps to make sure that everyone is in their correct restarting lineup there. Slowly but surely tightening them up at the front of the field. I believe everyone is in their correct restarting order now, so we are going to compact them a bit onto the back straightaway, get everyone in tight racing formation. Through turns 3 and 4, green light is out, and Moen gonna pull away on the front stretch. Henricks, Jensrud right behind Jensrud with a rocket shot coming out of turn 2. Jensrud up to second now, setting his sights on the 88 of Moen. As we've got a whole bunch of bumping and banging there at the back of the field, I believe everyone's gonna stay facing the correct way. We're going to avoid a caution. But from 5th on back, it is anyone's guess at this point. And just like that, new race leader, ladies and gentlemen, Carter Jensrud up to the top spot and pulling away from the 88 of Moen.
Jensrud takes the lead along the top side of the Thunderhill Speedway. Caleb Moen starts the chase in 88. Moen looks to the inside. He'll look to slide up. Jensrud too strong on the top side. He'll keep the lead. This time around, we're just over halfway. We've got 9 laps to go for Carter Jensrud.
Jensrud was able to get by Moen there, and he is setting his sights on that empty track ahead of him, lap by lap, slowly adding a little bit of a gap here and there. That time around, not too much of a gap created, just about 0.006 seconds, as now we've got one racer going around. Whoa, bumping and banging, nowhere else to go. One of our racers up in the air doing a full flip. We're going to bring everyone to a stop where they're at, make sure our racers are okay, as we also have another car blowing some smoke on the front stretch.
The car up and over was Clint Nelson. And the car up in smoke was Caleb Moen in 88. Second place runner. At the time of the incident in turn number 2, Clint Nelson was running in the 8th spot. Looks like Clint's got the helmet off and everything in the car. Here's a replay on MBTV Sports. As you can see, Subert goes around after just slight contact running out of room. Everybody starts to whoa up. And now here comes Nelson. He'll hop the fence. Does a heck of a rise on the catch fence, but then comes down on the front end. After
Looks like
climbing
he had
the right
nowhere
rear
to
tire
go
of
there.
the 28 of Mason Hale.
Going into that avoidance spin, hits the dirt just right, rides that safety fence up and over like a motocross berm. And what goes up must come down. Nelson up and standing out of his car, so we are happy to see the driver is okay. Always scary to see. You never want to see a car with less than 4 wheels on the ground at a time. And when there are no wheels on the ground, it's definitely not a great sign. But Clint Nelson up, walking around out of his car, happy to see that. Unfortunately, that is going to bring his night to a close, so we're going to get his car towed down to the infield. And off the racing surface before we get back to green flag action here. If I'm seeing this correctly, it looks like part of the car has dug into the track enough where they're struggling to get it out there. They're able to lift it up out of that divot. They'll rehook it up here now on the back to ensure that they're able to get Nelson's car off the racing surface. If
When you push your engine to the limit, on the track, the farm, or the highway, only one name delivers unmatched protection. Schaefer's specialized lubricants. With over 180 years of proven performance, professionals don't guess. They trust Schaefer's. And in our region, there's one guy who makes it happen. William Denzer. Racers, farmers, fleets. They all call William because he's reliable, knowledgeable, and gets results. So support the brands and people who support racing. Call William today, 651-253-0999, or email denzer.schaefer.sales@gmail.com. Schaefer's, trusted since 1839. Power in every drop.
Yeah, Butler Build has been a supporter of mine for a long time. I've always run Butler Built seats ever I got into 410 sprint car racing, and I feel like they have the nicest aluminum seats out there. The craftsmanship, the welding on it is top notch, and now they're pouring my inserts and have the gravel cut seat and gives you a lot of clearance for your hybrid or your Hans, and I feel like, there's no better seat out there. Yeah, I mean, a little bit of feedback, right? These guys do it every day. So as me as a sprint car driver specifically, every form of dirt racing, the seats are built different. And guys like us, drivers are wearing holes in their hybrids because they're rubbing on the seats. And I felt like there was a need for a little bit of a new design and a new generation of the sprint car advantage seat. So yeah, it's been a fun ride and hope to continue the relationship for a long time.
Still trying our best efforts to get the 2X of Clint Nelson's car off the racing surface here after a rough ride up the berm that ended up being the turns 1 and 2 wall. Nelson went into an avoidance spin there, trying to get past a wreck ahead of him. Had nowhere to go except up. Moved his way up and over the wall. Back onto the racing surface. Racer is okay. Saw Clint Nelson's up and standing around. You can still see him there over on the left end of the screen wearing the all black gear with the green logos on the shirt. But now it's just making sure that we can get his car off the racing surface here. Haven't been able to hear from track officials exactly what's going on, if it's portion of it is locked up, if they're not able to drag it as is without causing issues to the track surface itself. For those of you live streaming, you can see what happened here. Nelson has nowhere to go. Hits the berm just right, rides the safety fence there through turn 2. Up and over. Dips down onto the front straightaway, does another full flip there before landing on all 4 wheels. Definitely not a move you want to be seen on the track, but we're happy to see that Clint Nelson is up and walking around. Seems to be all good after that quite scary wreck. But if any positives are to come out of that, boy, Clint Nelson is going to have a wild video to post on social media tomorrow. In the meantime, we'll get everyone re-racked and restacked there in their correct restarting orders before we get back to some green flag racing action here. Just a few minutes. I believe we were about 8 laps in, if I'm remembering correctly, before we had our wreck there. Little over 11 laps in, 9 laps left to go there. Jensrud and Moen out front. And last we saw of the 88 of Moen, he had gone up in a puff of smoke right before, or right at the same time as Clint Nelson's wreck. Not quite sure if we see him out on the track right now or not. So potential to the 88 of Moen's. 10 of Hendricks is going to be in the mix. The 99 of Subert, the 8W of Wagner also there as well. So just making sure everyone is getting restarted in their correct starting lineup. And it does seem as though the 88 of Moen, one of your heat race winners, will be missing from the rest of the feature. Slowly but surely, it looks like we do have everyone back in their correct restarting order. Going to give them another lap here just to tighten up before we get back to our final 9 laps of racing action. It'll be the C71 of Carter Jensrud out front all alone in that Delaware double file restart. Then we have the 10 of Hendricks and the 8W of Wagner filling out that first full row. Then the 37, I believe, of Landon Davis right behind on the inside of row number 3. Still making sure all of our racers are ready to go here. As another quick reminder, while we have a second, we will be back in 2 weeks for our next regularly scheduled program, round number 5, Alumni Night, on Wednesday, August 13th. If you've raced here previously, show us a picture of you racing here and you'll be able to get in free. 2 weeks after that will be double points night for round number 6. As the lineup seems to be good, we're tightening it up on the backstretch through turns 3 and 4. Couple racers out of line. Green flag flies though, and it looks like that is going to be a good start for us. As we're 4 wide on the backstretch through turns 3 and 4. Another kart bumping and banging. And that's going to bring us another caution here. Not quite sure exactly what happened there. I may have been not the start that we wanted. I do know we saw a couple cars start pretty early there. Here, let's take a look at this instant replay. We come through 3 and 4, and there's a few of our racers hitting the green before anyone's even started. Looks like that was the 26P of Peters, if I'm seeing things correctly. So we'll get everyone re-lined up, and this time around we will opt for a start that works a little bit better for everyone. It's still Jensrud out front, then Hendricks and Wagner in that first full row. Now everyone seems to be back in their correct restarting order. We'll tighten it up on the backstretch make our way into turn 3. Green light is out, and away we go. Jensrud with a nice hop off the line there, able to pull away from the rest of the field. All in tow there. Flipping and swapping, moving all around. It's Jensrud, Wagner, Davis, Henricks, Peters, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. As we've got a big old pile up there in turn 1. I believe I'm counting 4 different cars there. I see the 22 machine of Brody Urbanski in there. Can't quite read those other numbers, but I do see some flames hopping out of the back end of Urbanski, I believe. See the 99 of Subert in the mix. There's the 23 of Kelly Turner. I believe that might be the 3J, if I'm seeing that correctly, of Brandon Friedrich as well. Friedrich getting the rough push down to the infield. Brandon Friedrich's night, unfortunately, has come to a close. My apologies, that's not Friedrich. That is the 23 machine of Kelly Turner being pushed down to the infield.
That one's the 28 of Matty Hale getting pushed into the infield, actually, in the white car.
Oh, whoops.
All right. Now it looks like Carter Jensrud C71 stopped on the front straightaway. Let's see if he can get that thing refired. He will. We got another one fall into the infield.
Jensrud going to take his place back at the front of the field. And this will give us a chance to once again re-rack and re-stack them. And what started with 11 cars, if I am counting things correctly, seem to now be down to 10 cars. 21 down to 10. Officially under the 50% completion rate through 3 and 4. Green light is out. Jensrud, Wagner, and Davis leading the charge through 1, 2, and 3. Peters getting into the mix there, taking the extreme low line, trying to take that second place spot over, holding on to 4th. Henricks in that 5th place spot just behind on the outside. Right now it's Jensrud, Wagner, Davis, Peters, Henricks, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, with 6 laps left to go.
Peters took a shot at Henrik there in 1 and 2, not able to make a pass. Carter Jensrud out there on cruise control around the cushion in C71. Now here comes Davis right to the back bumper of Wagner, though. Race down the back straightaway. Wagner's got the advantage on the top side. He'll hold on to second. Here comes Henricks now to the back bumper of the 37.
Three racer battle toward the front of the field there for third, fourth, and fifth. Out front, though, with an astounding 3.5 second gap with 2 laps left to go. Carter Jensrud putting on an absolute clinic here, as now it's a 4-racer battle for second, third, fourth, and fifth. Wagner's Peter Davis Henricks. White flag is out. Checkered flag is flying. Carter Jensrud taking another win here at Thunder Hill Speedway. Wagner going to finish second in the 8W, and it'll be the 37 of Landon Davis rounding out your podium. The 26P machine of Jackson Peters going to finish fourth, and it'll be the 10 of Owen Henricks rounding out your top 5. Back up at the front of the field, though, taking a quick victory lap, as we've seen him do multiple times this year. Your feature race winner is going to be the C71 of Carter Jensrud. We'll watch him pull into the infield and make his way over to the TNT Construction victory lane here at Thunder Hill Speedway. He'll make his way in, take off his gear, climb out of his car, and for one final time in the evening, throw on that mid-season money Wednesday night special gold chain. Give it up for your feature race winner, $400 richer, Carter Jensrud, taking the win in the C71. A gold hat, gold chains, gold shades, a gold finishing, and $400 lining the interior of Carter Jensrud's pockets. And just like that, we have our final feature race winner of the mid-season money Wednesday night special here at Thunder Hill Speedway. As Jensrud enjoys his time in victory lane, I want to thank everyone for coming out tonight to Thunder Hill Speedway for some great racing action here at our middle portion of the season. For those of you live streaming on MBTV Sports, thank you again for tuning in. We will be back in 2 weeks on Wednesday, August 13th for Storm Series race number 5, Alumni Night. In the meantime, thank you all for coming out and live streaming tonight. Drive safe on your way home. And on behalf of everyone here at MBTV Sports, myself, Matt, Colin, and everyone at Thunder Hill Speedway, Chad and crew, I want to thank you all for coming out. Enjoy the rest of your evening and drive safe, everyone. See you in 2 weeks.
Yeah, Butler-Built has been a supporter of mine for a long time. I've always run Butler-Built seats ever I got into 410 sprint car racing, and I feel like they have the nicest aluminum seats out there. The craftsmanship, the welding on it is top-notch, and now they're pouring my inserts and have the gravel cut seat and gives you a lot of clearance for your hybrid or your Hans, and I feel like, there's no better seat out there. Yeah, I mean, a little bit of feedback, right? These guys do it every day. So as me as a sprint car driver specifically, every form of dirt racing, the seats are built different. And guys like us, drivers are wearing holes in their hybrids because they're rubbing on the seats. And I felt like there was a need for a little bit of a new design and a new generation of the sprint car advantage seat. So yeah, it's been a fun ride and hope to continue the relationship for a long time.
When you push your engine to the limit, on the track, the farm, or the highway, only one name delivers unmatched protection. Schaefer's specialized lubricants. With over 180 years of proven performance, professionals don't guess. They trust Schaefer's. And in our region, there's one guy who makes it happen. William Denzer. Racers, farmers, fleets. They all call William because he's reliable, knowledgeable, and gets results. So support the brands and people who support racing. Call William today, 651-253-0999, or email denzer.schaefer.sales@gmail.com. Schaefer's, trusted since 1839. Power in every drop.
Painful steps shouldn't be part of your daily routine. At Foot and Ankle Clinics, PA, we specialize in diagnosing and treating a wide range of foot and ankle conditions, from heel pain and bunions to diabetic foot care and sports injuries. Our board-certified podiatrists, Dr. Jeff Pellercells and Dr. Russell John Hill, bring decades of experience and a compassionate approach to every patient. At our clinic, we are dedicated to serving the community with the highest level of care. Your well-being is our top priority. Serving the communities of Woodbury, West St. Paul, and Edina, we're committed to providing personalized care tailored to your needs. Don't let foot or ankle pain hold you back. Visit footandankleclinics.com to schedule your appointment today.